Saturday morning, Shelf Life. Shelf Life. Kevin and Rachel, the brother-sister crew with pop culture fun, they've got something for you. Hey! Grab your snacks and settle in. It's time for the best show around. Books, movies, games, and more. Your weekend's here, let's explore. Shelf Life. Saturday morning,
How do y'all get these jobs?
These spy jobs?
Yeah, how do you get a spy job?
I guess it kind of just, like, there's different...
Can I apply to be a spy?
I think you
or
can
is it
apply
something
to
you're
be a
born
spy.
into?
I think it's both. I think you can either be born into it, somebody can discover you and, like, you know, recruit you into it. I think you can be forced into it. I think you can apply for it. I think all of the above is okay.
I'm interested with the subjects I had this morning. Some of these people should not be spies. That's all I'm saying. How did they become spies?
Some of them aren't technically spies either.
True,
Yeah.
but I'm talking like yes,
But yes,
like they are.
I think some of them, you know, fell into it. It just sort of happened.
We haven't. I mean, this is the first professional spies that were in the Summer of Spies.
Oh, that's
if we want to be real about it.
Well,
right?
I mean, we watched there was a professional in that one.
There's professionals in this, in every subject that we are touching upon. There's a professional.
There's a professional.
And a doofus.
There's always a doofus.
Always a doofus.
You gotta have that doofus.
Speaking of having a doofus, hey there, boys and girls, and it's Kevin.
Welcome to Saturday Morning Shelf Life, and I'm Rachel.
Yay!
Yay!
Shelf Life, Saturday morning, Shelf Life. And on a very special Saturday morning, because here in Volume 6, we're in the middle of our spy summer. Yay!
Woo! Yeah.
And Shelf Life Rachel has curated 3 cartoons.
That's right. Something for the
us
younger,
to watch.
Something for the youngers, and something for the olders of the children.
Yes, the older children. The younger children and the older children. Rachel.
Yes.
It's Saturday morning. I have my bowl of cereal.
Oh, I went with French toast sticks this time.
Oh, okay. Rachel got a little fancy.
I got fancy this morning.
I had Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I finally purchased a container for my cereal.
You got
so it
cereal.
No longer gets stale.
That's fancy. That's real
very
fancy.
Very fancy for a man in his mid-30s to be like, I probably should buy something so my cereal doesn't go to waste. Because I am a man-child.
Speaking of doofuses.
I'm the Ron Stoppable of this podcast.
I'll take that.
Rachel.
I'll take that. I'll be the Kim Possible. That's fine. I also think of myself as the Yor, but...
I'm sure you would.
I
We have
would.
3... You're more of an Alex. We have 3...
I'll be Alex. That's fine.
Isn't Sam the leader?
Oh, no, Sam's the leader. Wait, so I'm still the ditz. Why would you make me the ditzy
No,
one?
Alex is just kind of like
ditz.
the... I disagree.
No,
we'll
she always is. She tends to be the one that's way more naive. I'm just saying.
All right, we'll find out, I guess, as we go through. Rachel, your 3 selections for Saturday Morning Spy Summer. What are we discussing? What is up for contention to the shelf today?
We will be talking about Totally Spies, Kim Possible, and Spy X Family. Or Spy Family, however you want to say it. It's fine.
Yeah, those are the 3 selections. We are talking about the 2nd episode of Spy Family.
Mm-hmm. Kind
What's
of the
that
first
one called?
2.
Project Get a Wife or something like that.
Secure
Hang on,
a
now
wife.
I gotta look it up.
Secure a wife.
Okay, thank you. The 1st episode of Kim Possible and the 7th episode of Totally Spies called The Fugitives. Mark that down, folks. All 3 of these are available online in various spots. You can find them all over the place. You can spend your Saturday morning watching all 3 and then listening to the podcast. But Rachel, your selections here for the Summer of Spies, were you satisfied with your cartoon selection?
I think I was, yes.
Yeah.
Because a couple of them childhood, and one of them is newer and is kind of like, you know, the older version of like having some spy fun. with cartoons.
Much newer.
Yes.
I think that it's time then. So folks at home, go get your kids at home. Go get your
snack,
your breakfast.
Yeah, your breakfast.
Put on your comfy pants.
Keep on those PJs. Just get cozy.
Yeah.
Get a blanket.
For the adults in the room, go get your coffee.
Yes.
Get situated. Because we are about to dive into all three of these subjects. Should we take a short break and then come back and be ready? Maybe we should.
Saturday morning. Morning.
Just because I want to hear the bumper
Shelf
again.
life.
So we are going to take a short break for everybody to go get their breakfast. And when we come back, we'll dive into the first subject, which will be Spy Family.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Spy Tech, Case 101. The Whistler's made his move. Use your Spy Tech binoculars to keep him in sight.
He's coming your way.
The Spy Tech intruder alert detects his movement. You've lost him. Set up the Spy Tech long-range microphone. You can hear the smallest sounds like they were right up close. You've got him now. They have Spy Tech. He knows Spy Tech. High-tech equipment that works.
Each sold separately, batteries not included.
Saturday morning! Shelf Life! We're back with our Spy Summer boys and girls. Rachel, what is the first subject we will discuss today, and what's your history with it?
We are going to be talking about the anime Spy X Family.
Folks at home, kids at home, this is the newest.
Kevin's first, too, in anime.
Not verse to anime, that's for sure. But this is the newest subject we've discussed on Shelf Life. It's the only one within the same decade that we're currently recording in.
So typically with anime, my husband's the one that finds something.
He's the weeb.
He is. He really is. And he tends to find stories that he thinks that I would like, and then we'll watch it together and everything like that. And this is one of them that he found and had us watch, and I really enjoyed it. I guess I can say that up front that I really enjoyed it when I first watched it. That's my history.
Being pretty new.
There it is. Yeah, it is pretty new, and I think that just not long ago, the next season for at least America, the newest season came over or got dubbed and stuff like that. I enjoyed it. I also have read some of the manga so far too with it.
I don't partake in anime. It is definitely one that is in the shadows for me. Not as much of a fan of it. It's the style or something. It's something about it bugs me. They tend to go a little wacky.
They tend to go a little wacky, and I think you want to be more down to earth. There are a few that I have that my husband and I did this thing where we were discussing every anime that Kevin would like. So we have a handful that
we're
it's
gotta be a small list.
This is what we could probably get him to try out and watch.
I don't know why. It's just the style or the storytelling, the mechanism for it. It's never been my favorite thing to sit down and be able to focus on it.
It's not for
the other
everyone.
part of it too. I could probably be somewhat hypocritical in saying some of these animes that go on for decades, and it's
so
well, where the
long.
fuck do you want me to?
Yeah,
which is the same problem people have with comic
happens.
books, where it's well, where the fuck do you want me to
exactly.
hop in?
And it's because it's a manga first, so you have all those mangas that are so long and ridiculous, and then it just becomes overwhelming to have to become a part of that.
At least for me, when it comes to comic books, well, you can pick up a different writer or this or that or whatever. And it feels like with some of this stuff, it just kind of just keeps going. The other thing about it too is I think that it's gotten so much more popular. When Rachel and I go to conventions, I would say the younger people that go to conventions, just because it's the easiest thing to put on. I'm a Japanese schoolgirl from XYZ manga. And it's I don't know what any of these fucking people are dressed up as. Because it's something I've never heard of before. Including this subject. I had never heard of Spy X Family or what it was. Rachel was just no, it's fun. You need to do this one because it's spy. Rachel has an Anya on her shelf behind her in the Shelf Life Studios. So she's primed for this one. Rachel, what is Spy Family about?
So Spy Family is about three main characters, Anya, Yor, and Lloyd. Lloyd is our resident spy in this, who has to go undercover with a family. So he has to adopt a child, where we have Anya, who can read minds. Then we have who he ends up picking for his wife, Yor, who is an assassin. And none of them, except for Anya, know everything about each other. So Lloyd doesn't know that Anya can read minds and Yor is an assassin, and Yor does not know that Lloyd is a spy and Anya can read minds. And then you get to that fun, wacky family dynamic.
Yeah, the family dynamic on the spy.
It's a forced family.
Yeah.
And like the world that we're in kind of feels like some sort of war. You know, you kind of feel like you're in some sort of like war, almost World
in
War
a
II-ish.
alternate world, a fantasy world
Yes.
of some kind.
Yes.
It's definitely not the real world. We're watching the second episode, or we're walking through the second episode, Secure a Wife, only because when I was looking through some of the ones to do, I was like, well, what are like the highlight ones? I did watch the first episode as well.
Yeah, we can talk
Though.
about it. We can still talk about it because it
Yeah,
kind of,
I think we
first
can
two
just like break
episodes
down like
bring the family together.
Lloyd is the fake name that he's going by, Lloyd Forger, which is not a very
He has so many identities, so this is one of
but
them.
Forger.
Yep.
You should like.
Yep, that's right.
His code name is Twilight, which is an odd spy code
I don't know. I
name,
kind of like
but-
it. Twilight. That's like, you know.
Well, okay, but in the United States, Twilight is associated with vampires and werewolves.
All right,
It's
but not at the time of day. Twilight. Come on.
I get your point, but still.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, oh, the eagle lands at twilight. You know, it's like you think about how those weird spy sayings or whatever, you know, whatever happens at twilight.
I was
You never heard those
staring at
before?
Rachel because I was like, what the fuck is she saying now?
Really? You never heard those?
You're
where, like,
the
you have like a
spy
code,
one.
You have like a code phrase, and it's like something happens at twilight.
Oh no, I got you.
That
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing. So
It
I feel like
it only
that
rains in the West, or
right.
something.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of where it must have come from.
The story involves, and I believe I can summarize it
That's
based
fine.
on my understanding of the first episode here. So Twilight needs to pretend to be Lloyd Forger in this particular mission because he's trying to take down this politician
Yes.
that wants to stoke war between these two nations that are in this fantasy world. Like it's like the Western nation, which is what Twilight works for, and some like Eastern nation, which is where they're at. And the only way to do this is to obtain a child because the politician only comes out, Donovan Desmond is the name of the
Yes.
politician, only comes out when their children are doing something at this very elite private school. So he needs to get a child
It would be a way
to be
of
able
getting
to get
in and like
into
getting
the
close
school.
to him. Yeah.
And then the wife part comes in this second episode. So the first episode is about him going about
Obtaining a child.
You're learning this world and getting a child. So he goes to this orphanage. He picks up.
It looks like
can't remember
the
what
most
draws him to
awful,
Anya.
dilapidated, building. And he was saying something about, he asked like the main guy who just looked like a drunk, are any of them intelligent? Like, was hoping for like someone
Oh yeah,
smart.
and Anya
was
doing,
there,
like,
and he goes, "Well, this one's
reading
Anya's our
minds.
smartest one." And like, I think he only said that because she was right.
He wants
next
to get rid of her.
I don't think he cared. I think it was like, "Oh, she's right there. There's Anya. Yeah, she's our smartest one."
Okay. I also thought it was because he wants to get rid of her because
Potentially.
she's weird and can read minds, so she
Potentially.
probably fucks with them a lot.
Yeah, so then she like proves like, "Yes, I'm smart. Like, look, I can do the crossword puzzle."
Yeah, part of the dynamic of the Anya character is interesting because they could have made her very annoying if she was like a know-it-all, precocious.
Yeah.
She's not. She's stupid. She's a
kinda-
4-year-old.
She's just
kid.
a 4-year-old kid. Yeah.
So she is just dumb. She doesn't understand any of the stuff around her. She just happens to be able to read minds, and most of the time it seems like she misreads. But she knows what she's trying to do at the same time.
Yeah.
So like
She wants a family.
she knows. So like in Floyd's head at the time, he's like, I need a 6-year-old. I don't think that she's old enough. And then they're like, how old are you, Anya? And she's like, 6.
And
'Cause
she's
she
definitely
heard
not.
him say it. He has this Q-esque character that's like also in the agency,
Yes.
floppy head or whatever they call him.
Floppy hair, I think is
And
what she calls him.
floppy hair.
Yeah.
Anya gets kidnapped in that episode. I have a feeling that's going to happen a lot in this series. Floyd goes to save her. He puts on a mask, but of course Anya knows that it's him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna leave her. He like says,
Yeah,
like, take
he
this
was-
note to the police.
Right. He was pretty much
'Cause
like,
he's like,
okay,
I can't
she's not
do
going
this
to work.
with a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, he just keeps
And,
thinking this isn't like a safe thing to do with children. I got to find another way of doing this.
And then Anya
But she thinks
is like,
spies are cool.
She thinks spies are cool. She's obsessed with this show called like I can't remember the name of the show.
Bondman.
Spy Wars.
Oh, well,
What's it-
Bondman is the character. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's like obsessed with it. So she thinks spies are cool. When she finds out that he's a spy, like that's why when she's like, "Oh, a spy! I must go with him." And then she won't leave. She like stays. She doesn't go to the police when Twilight like takes out all the bad guys. So then he decides to keep her. We have our dynamic between father and son. Papa's a big
Daughter.
liar.
Daughter, how dare you?
Oh, daughter. I'm sorry. And then how no, that's your problem, Rachel, for directing gender.
Anya's a little girl.
But then Anya passes the exam at the end of the first episode, but then Floyd is told that the next step to try to get into the school is that there needs to be an interview, including a father and a mother.
They want a
So-
full unit. They only
Yes.
accept full units. This
Which
school
brings me,
is horrible.
I have a lot of questions for you about the social dynamics of this fake world.
Okay.
I assume fake world, that it isn't a commentary on Japanese culture, that it's actually a fake world, but we'll get into that when we get into the
It
walk.
might be a little of both. I have a feeling. It might be
I'm
the
assuming so.
extreme of like how
Yeah.
some people see the dynamic of these like social elite schooling.
So we've caught you up here. Now it is time, of course, to go through the walkthrough because this episode is all about Floyd trying to find a wife. Mr. Forger finds a wife. Could have been the name of the episode. Instead, it's Secure a Wife.
Secure a wife.
First aired on April 16th, 2022. Directed by Takahiro Harada and written by Rino Yamazaki.
Is that who you have?
Yep.
Oh, I guess I'm looking at the manga. Never mind.
Yeah, who did the manga? Let's give them credit.
Tatsuya
'cause-
and Endo. And I apologize if I
And-
say any names wrong. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Kazuhiro Furuhashi doing the storyboarding. The manga, Rachel, is the manga still ongoing?
I believe so. Yes, it says the original run was March 25th, 2019 to the present.
Okay.
So,
So
it is still going.
it's a pretty recent manga too.
Currently
so they
has
flipped this around to be a
15
show.
volumes. They flipped this in 3 years. So yeah, they're like, okay, we know this is one people are gonna like. They call it an action spy comedy. So I agree.
The comedy. All right. Let's get into it here because
Oh,
the
no.
comedy. I saw a bunch of that too, where everyone's like, "It's so funny, it's funny," and I'm like, "Is it? Is it funny?" I can see where there are jokes, but I think that's the Japanese versus my
Okay.
very, very white American sentimentality, where I'm just like, all right, I can see how that was a joke. But then, like, sometimes I'm like, I think that was supposed to be funny.
I
But
don't know
we'll
if it's
talk
like
about
ha
it as we
ha,
go.
like ha 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 funny. I think it's like, oh, that's silly, like make you smile funny.
That's a silly funny. Yeah. Well, like, I feel like Anya is supposed to be a lot of the silly
Anya
fun.
is
like
very
some of it's
cute,
stupid.
silly funny. Yes.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. This is the first time we see the opening credits. You didn't see them in the first episode. As you would
I
assume,
love the style of the opening credits.
bombastic Japanese score. It's Anya skipping down the street, and I don't know what they're saying or anything. So if I were to do
you
an
want me
impression
to-
of it, I'd probably be offensive
They're-
because, like,
No, it is fun to sing. I do like it, and then the part with the peanuts and everything because they say it in English. It's really silly.
they say peanuts in English.
Yeah, did you not notice that?
I did not notice that at all.
Oh yeah.
It's in a specific style, and then at some point, I'm assuming because of what the lyrics tell
This one's
you,
called
it switches
Mixed
to
Nuts.
Okay,
That's the
the
name
name
of
of the
it.
theme.
Yeah.
okay. It switches to a different style. I wrote in my notes, I don't know what's going on, but it's catchy.
It's catchy. It's adorable.
And then it changes to show like a more anime style, the style that you would expect, where Twilight and Yor, who is the character that will be introduced in this episode, being spy / assassin and doing stuff, and goes into... I don't even know how to describe anime art if people don't know what that is, because they're listening to us in the dystopian future
I mean,
where
think comic book
art is
style,
only
too.
our podcast.
It's
Yeah,
very
it has
comic book style.
It's edgier.
Yes.
Sharper.
Yes.
Anime is very sharp.
Big eyes.
There's sharp edges everywhere.
Very expressive, big eyes and everything too. Yeah.
And some janky movements. Almost like stilted movements.
Yes.
More than a flow that you'd get in a lot of American animation, which is really Korean animation. But in an American style animation where it's more fluid, anime is a lot more stilted, I think.
That's fair. Yeah, because it's
you
almost
trying
like
to
they are
pull up-
moving like the comic-y style.
Were you trying to pull up the theme, Rachel?
I was pulling up the lyrics for you if you wanted me to say anything.
Oh, all right.
about
Well, go
them.
ahead. Let's hear the lyrics.
In this world like nuts packed in a bag, everyone is snuggling up to someone they meet. We are mixed in there and smiling by pretending we are all nuts like peanuts. Then he says peanuts.
Okay, I did not hear that.
Yes! On the template of happiness behind the surface, which is literally picturesque, we can't be as we are, even when we put our hands together.
Which is
sitting
literally
around a table.
picturesque. You know, your typical lyrics for a TV show.
Home with full of secrets and patches, you know. Even though I chew up the real emotions, they still don't disappear. They are still stuck in my teeth. My life is so insecure and drifting, and I know every day is so mediocre, but I'm here, and so are you. Just by this truth, my stomach feels heavy. Like a single peanut whose true character was revealed, you get instantly rejected from the world. That is when I want to be by your side, if you're okay with my imperfection. Even if we get roasted, shaken, and stepped on together, we will be unbreakable nutshells.
All right. Well, that was insane. But I understand what they're trying to get.
Yeah, that's like a mixed bag, right?
So is Anya's thing that she loves peanuts?
Oh, she loves peanuts.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
That's one of her favorite foods, yes.
It's subtle in these first couple of episodes, but she is eating peanuts, and then they go to the
She
grocery
asks for
store
more
and she
peanuts.
wants peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I think I got the idea.
Yeah, I get it.
I gather that. This episode begins, it starts with Twilight looking at his spy friend Floppy Hair.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably find out what his name is.
Frankie.
Is it Frankie?
Frankie Franklin.
Frankie Franklin, sure. All right, I like Floppy Hair. But Frankie is dressed in drag. He looks very
Scruffy Head.
Simpsons.
She calls him Scruffy Head. That's what it is.
Okay. He looks very Simpsons-esque. I couldn't quite figure out what character, but he looks like
Mr.
Mo
Smithers?
Sizlak in drag.
And Mo. Like, put Mo and
Yeah.
Smithers together.
Looks like, yeah. Ah, Christ. Now the kid's got me dressed up like her mom. It's goofy that they would even attempt to do this.
Well, there's no other spies available, is what we find out.
Anya says, I don't want this, mama. Which, all right, you know what? That was cute. Fine.
This won't do.
I don't want this, Mama.
I'll concede that point. Frankie is like, why can't you make me beautiful? Like, why can't you, like
you're
figure this
like
out?
a master
You're
of
spy."
disguise. Why can't you do this for me? He's just like, it's just not going to be
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, Twilight has he's a very stoic spy, almost too stoic, like pent up
Yes.
type spy.
Right.
As opposed to some of the spies that we'll see throughout our Summer of Spies. This one is the very like dour and
He's
hates the world.
Right, he's very serious. I don't think he hates the world. He's just very serious. He does his job. He does his job very well.
Frankie, of course, is more of your, like I said,
he's
like
the
a
man
Q type
behind the
character.
computer. Yeah, he's the guy in the
Yeah.
chair. So he's a bit of a dork.
Another thing about anime, which I'm not used to, but maybe that it's just because it's like, no, we're adapting a manga. We have to do it this way. A lot of internal
Yes.
dialogue.
There's a lot of internal
in this
dialogue.
series.
Especially in
And-
this, but I think that's more so because of Anya. So you get extra
Okay.
internal dialogue in this
Yeah.
one. But yes, you
Well,
do get
'cause
to hear
not-
like what they're feeling and what they're thinking a lot in anime.
Yeah. I mean, even in the scenes with just Yor, like, you
Yes.
hear Yor's internal monologue quite a bit,
Right.
which is very comic booky. But I was like, all right, like, they're clearly doing it because it's based on the manga. They're getting that point across that way.
Exactly.
He's recapping everything in his head, and as she's doing that, Anya does offer Frankie a peanut in the background. And he needs to find a woman.
That's right.
So, Rachel, this is where I was curious, because it needs to be a father and a mother
Yeah, I
in
think
this
so.
interview.
Yes, it is
Okay.
very like that. Yes.
And what we're about to learn is that women are being interrogated for being spies if they're not married as well. So
if you're old and you don't have
and
if you're not married, it's like, what are you doing?
And this is where I was asking you, because I didn't want to be ignorant of Japanese
culture
issues or culture. I know that Japanese are not having kids and stuff. Like, that's like their big issue right now. I don't know if they're getting married or not.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious because this is a recent manga, because I was like, oh, well, if it's like from the 80s or something, maybe it's like commentary on like misogyny from that period of time. In this fake world where like you need to have two parents to be in this school, and they're taking women off the streets for being suspected of spying. There's a undercurrent of misogyny.
Sure.
And almost like a fascist conservatism.
Right. I would agree. And I think that might be just the type of world they're building, and like how it's like a war world too. There's a lot of going on in the background that we don't
There's a lot
really
of tension.
know. Yeah. So I don't know if it's just like kind of mixing the old, how like during the war times, and like, you know, a bit more modern and like
type
smashing
time.
it together. It does kind of feel that way.
Yeah, the Imperial Japan directives and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, because this is not Japan. This is
it's
a
fake world where it's like they're mixing a bunch of different cultures together, which they do
Yes,
often.
100%.
They do this a lot of the time.
Which is kind of neat.
So, like,
I don't...
One that would probably be... I don't know if you would know that one. I'm trying to think. Like, Big Hero... What is it? Big Hero 6?
Well, I watched Big Hero 6.
You know what that... So, and then that's like San Fran, Tokyo. It's mixing San Francisco and Tokyo and like making it like one world. There's other ones like Attack on Titan where it kind of feels like there's a bunch of different cultures, a lot of German in that one. So
to get your point across, to have your themes, like you don't have it set in
just one place.
In the real world, you have it set in like some sort of
fantasy
mixture
place.
Fake world. Yeah. We cut to the city hall after he says he needs to find a woman, and there's like these women that are... I don't know what their job is. They all are wearing the same uniform, I thought like
maybe assistants.
It says it's City Hall, but I thought it was like a hotel. Like I thought they were all like maids at a hotel or something. But I think that they must be like secretaries.
I think it's like assistants, the secretaries, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
We learned that someone took all the files of all of the women that are in the city or something like that, which I assume that was Frankie and
papers
Twilight.
And oh, that's true. It could be. I didn't even think
that's
about that. You're right.
I think
you're
took
right.
all the papers.
Because he does have them later.
Oh, or maybe they're just the cleaning crew. Maybe they just clean the city.
Could be that too.
I don't know.
Well, they work here all the time. Like these are her normal like work crewmates.
Yeah,
so.
These are her coworkers. Yeah. They talk about how they could dress sluttier. That's the that's the prevailing theme of this conversation.
I think they're just saying she's pretty and that she could like put herself out there.
We are introduced. So there's these dynamics of like these different characters. They're all married or have boyfriends or whatever. And then we learn about Yor. Yor is this quiet, unassuming girl that is your typical anime heroine. Yeah. They say that she's got curves in all the right places. If she knew how to flaunt it, she'd be knocking them dead. I watched it with the English sub. I did tell Rachel I tried to watch it with
the dub.
English subtitles in the Japanese, because I like to always watch like with Squid Game or whatever, 3% or whatever I'm watching that's from a foreign country. I always want the actual actor's interpretation and emotion.
I do prefer
I couldn't get English subtitles.
Which is so
and
weird.
I've heard that the dub is fine. And the dub in anime is fine. That's just how I think it's how everybody watches anime, right?
No. Do not say that. That's a very divided thing. I listen and I watch to the dub because I like to crochet while I'm watching. So I can't read all the time while I'm watching because I'm also crocheting and I'm doing other things.
Gotcha.
I always do the dub, but I do prefer
I hated
having the
Squid Game with the dub. Hated Squid Game with the dub. It took so all the emotion is completely different. The dubbers did not do a good job. No offense to the dubbers of that show, but it's Netflix, so it was probably fucking AI anyway.
I wouldn't say that because now you're really pushing down the people who actually had to do the talking and were getting paid for it. But she's 27, so she's kind of old and becoming like an old maid.
Well, they
already.
tell her she's weird. You understand that she's weird. I don't. They always call her weird, like and she's socially awkward,
just a little shy. She's just kind of like stays, a little distant.
Yeah, she doesn't quite understand social cues or norms, I think, is the problem.
Part of it, I think, sure.
They tell her, like, hey, you're blow snot in the director's coffee or whatever, because he's like a pervert. They like
Right.
talking about how like he's kind of a pervert. Again, misogyny in this world, that's a theme. It's got to be a theme. She's like, oh, would snot make it taste better?
I think she
And they're
wasn't
like,
paying attention. I don't think she
No,
was
she
even
wasn't
paying
paying
attention. And she's like, would that make it better? What? Why would that make it better? Is that something like he likes? That's weird.
Yeah.
But she's just trying to do a good job.
Like you said, they say she's 27 and single, and because of that, she could be a spy. So they're literally taking like 20, like, because they're like 27. That's old. That's too old to be single. Mm-hmm. Which I interpreted as we're in this sci-fi type world because of that. Like being single at that age is unusual and all this stuff.
Right.
But it's also could be more commentary of like 27 is not old.
Right.
People could say like my age now being single is old, but 27 is not old
It's not.
to be single.
I don't think it is, especially now in like modern day.
In modern day too, like the age of people getting married and having kids, if they do have them, just keeps going higher.
does.
And in Japan, that is no different. It's actually more so than like the United States. Yor thanks them all for letting her know, though, and she bows.
Yeah, it's
One thing about this, both the episodes that I watched, there's a few moments where there's a pregnant pause, and I'm like, okay. So I couldn't tell if that's a dub thing. Maybe because they're saying it in Japanese, it takes longer
potentially.
to say,
It
so
could
there's
be.
like a pause. There's this like pregnant pause a couple of times where I'm like, and then, and it like takes
I guess I'm just used to it because I don't remember. It just doesn't like click that like, oh yeah, there are like these a little bit of like a pause, but that could just be the dubbing.
The blonde one tells her that I can't remember her name, Camilla or something like that. I've watched all three of these now, and I'm getting, there's a lot of women in all of three of these. I could definitely be getting that name wrong. But the blonde one tells her that she's having a party, she should come, bring a date and stuff. Mm-hmm. And as they walk away, they're like, that was mean, Priscilla. That's like all I could think of was like, you're so cool, Homer Simpson. And Homer thinks like it was a compliment, but as the girls are walking away, in the background, you just hear like, that was very mean.
Like
so
she's
like
just
you
kind
don't
of like,
even understand why.
well, because she's just like, if you can even like bring a date, you should probably try. And I think one
they
of
think
the
that
other
she's not
ones
gonna
was just
show up.
like that. You're kind of being pushy. That's what are you doing? You're being rude.
Yor is back at her apartment, and we get this brother-sister dynamic here because her brother calls. This is so
I don't like
odd.
the brother. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna like the brother later.
Okay.
He's kind of a creep. He's kind of a gross
I
creep.
don't understand this dynamic. So she's the older sister. Mm-hmm. The brother, I assume, based on the voice and knowing that like a much younger brother is what Lloyd says later on when he looks her up. I'm gonna guess he's like right out of school. He's like 22 something,
I
23.
think so. I think he's
The brother flat out calls her weird because she isn't married and doesn't date. He's talking about how he got a promotion where he's going to have to travel more, but he doesn't want to take it because that would mean that he'd have to leave the city and he'd be leaving her there.
I guess because then she's like alone and he wants to,
Yeah, and
take
she's
care
strange.
of her, kind of.
And so he asks her if he can set her up with someone. She doesn't want to have anything to do with that shit. She's a spinster. She's like me, We're lone wolves, by God.
She's like happy
So she's
on her
like,
own. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, that won't be necessary. I have a date, and I'm going to this party, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about me, ha!
Yeah, that's kind of how she's doing it, yeah.
So
Oh, it is
more of this,
Camilla.
like, idea.
Yeah.
It was Camilla. See? I got a mind like a steel trap, baby. Says that he's going to wait on taking the promotion until he knows this guy's story. Like, oh, I'm going to have friends at that party, because he must also work at City Hall. So he's like, I'm going to have friends at that party.
Yet.
I'm just assuming because he knows all the people that are going to be at the party. Tell, what's his name? I'm going to have somebody like scope him out and see like if he's good enough for you while you guys are at the party then and that kind of thing.
Sure.
So now Yor needs a date. And in her internal monologue, she's like, oh no, if he already thinks I'm a weirdo. He can't find out that I lied. It's insane.
It's a little silly.
And it's hard to tell, is this just or is this the dynamics for women in the world, at least by this point in the series? She's socially awkward and inept. And or women are just treated like second class because, oh no, I can't let my little brother think I'm a weirdo. Like, it's all this stuff that she's like super worried about,
Sure.
but you can't tell if that would lead to bad consequences because they're flat out saying, like, Frankie asked Floyd, like, why can't you just get a female spy to pretend to be your wife? And they're like, well, we can't because
Everything
all
is
of
spread
them
too thin. Yeah.
are being taken into interrogation, and some of them have been like captured for being spies. It's like witch hunts.
There's a lot going on.
Is like how they're doing
Exactly.
it. So there's all these like problems. You'd think that men would be in the same boat, because if the woman is old and doesn't have a husband, wouldn't there also be men that are old and don't have a husband? But that's where it's like.
But maybe that's the dynamic is that they
some
are
social dynamics.
using women as spies. Like, that's actually what's happening right now, is that women are being utilized as spies. They're being utilized more because they're being able to, penetrate stuff and get in there because they do think of them lowly. God damn it.
I did look at the fake audience.
You did.
She gets another call from the shopkeeper, is what she calls him.
Yes.
And it's this, oh yes, you're like this like evil sounding voice. Calls her the Thorn Princess.
Yes.
And a client needs attention. So when he calls her the Thorn Princess, her eyes change.
Yes.
I couldn't tell, and I'm sure that you would tell me, like, as we go through like the series, is that her trigger word? To like
I think
cause
that's
her
her
to
code
go
name.
into like assassin mode.
I
just
just her code
figured it was her code name, and that she just is like, I'm ready for business.
Yeah, but
but I wasn't sure if she's also like a Manchurian candidate.
Maybe, but I don't think I think she's always aware that she's an assassin. I don't think it's like she doesn't know she is, and then all of a sudden like trigger it, and now she's assassin. I think it's more of the
Black Widow.
I was going to say Scarlett Johansson.
I got
confused.
Scarlett Johansson, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow.
I think it's that Black Widow dynamic, though. That's kind of my thought on it. Handler.
Yeah, like an Agent 47.
That too.
She's kind of an Agent 47.
She's kind of a spy, but she's more of a, just a killer.
She's an assassin more than a spy, but they go hand in hand.
Right. Instead of like infiltrating and stealing things and
his mission is to
stuff.
assassinate the politician, I think.
I think he's just getting close to him and trying to I don't think he's supposed to assassinate him necessarily. I think he's either supposed to get close and
manipulate
change
him.
his mind.
Okay.
And if he can do that, cool. If he has to, he'll assassinate him. But I think that's kind of like a last resort versus, I'll just go kill him.
Right. So she goes to this hotel. She enters the floor. Now she is proto-anime girl. She's got her anime boobs out.
She's got that
the anime
sexy dress
on.
Mm-hmm.
She's got sais and daggers and shit. So I'm surprised we haven't seen anybody cosplay as Yor.
You have.
Okay.
You have.
All right.
And I also I actually crocheted her red sweater, so I actually have that.
Have I seen the red sweater?
I think I've seen part of it at one point.
No, I'm saying, was that in this episode?
You have
have I seen that?
She was just wearing it.
Oh, that's what she was wearing in her apartment?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen people cosplay with the red sweater, and you've seen people cosplay with this outfit. Yes. You probably just didn't realize who it was. You probably were just like, generic anime girl, but I knew it was Yor.
Yes. She assassinates all the people here. She's after the vice minister of the auditing department. And she has very assassin-type dialogue. Like, her character completely changes as the assassin.
Oh, absolutely.
She's much more confident. Mm-hmm. She has a lot of agency as the assassin. She takes this guy out. Blood, which I appreciated.
And that's why this is for the older kids. What were you going to say? I'm sorry. You appreciate the
I was
blood.
going to say, I do... No, because I was going to say, I feel like anime will show blood even if it's not necessarily for the older kids.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why this borderline Saturday morning shelf life
They adult them a little
borderline.
bit more. Mm-hmm.
A little too adult for
my apologies
for the younger kids.
I was just thinking teens would be okay. All right.
She's trying to clean off the blood in the sink. Like, she doesn't even leave the room. She's just like, all the dead bodies are around. I'll clean clean my hands of blood in this sink.
Well, she might as
And she
well.
gets
Cleaning it here first would probably be a better idea than leaving just bloody,
Fair. As long as she, like, wipes down her fingerprints and stuff,
Yes.
which maybe she doesn't even have them. Maybe they burnt them off.
she just burned
Maybe
her
this
fingerprints.
agency-
That would be very interesting. She ripped her dress, though.
She gets a tear in her dress, and this is
Yeah.
like her only dress. Which, like, I love the idea that she was going to wear this same dress to the party.
It's a
as that she
ridiculous
assassinates
idea.
him.
Get a different, like, have your assassin's outfit, and then have another
Yeah.
outfit.
I was thinking
It's
the same
fine,
thing.
but this is
Like,
this
if
is
she
just
had
her.
a Black Widow-esque, not dress, but a Black Widow-esque, like, fatigue
Mm-hmm.
outfit to wear when she assassinates. But I guess she was like, well, what if they don't let me up there? I have to pretend to be a prostitute.
Yeah, she
like, that
just
was
has
her
to look
cover.
like
She was
oh,
pretending to be
woman.
an escort or
Right.
something. Yeah. Her anime
I was
boobs
invited,
are out in
and
this
they're like, "Oh, okay."
part.
They are large and in charge. It's
They're
very
large
true.
in this scene. Larger than they've ever been animated. She says this line, which I thought was hilarious, but it tells you all about this world. And what the character has some complexity because she's an assassin.
Right.
But then she's also, like, potentially, like, forced into this dynamic because she goes, I'll never be a homemaker. I'm not good at cleaning cleaning a house is the only thing I'm good at.
There you go. That's it. This type of cleaning house is the only way she thinks she's good at.
The note I wrote here was, what a weird fucking world we're in
It
here.
is, but it's an interesting world,
Back at Lloyd's, we're looking through files of all the women, trying to find one that meets the criteria. They're all printed out and stacked up to make it up to point it home that they're looking through all of these one by one. Scruffy Head can't get a date either. And he's like, and I'm even trying, and I can't get one. He's like whining about that. Anya's worried that it's her fault that they can't find a mama.
Yeah. Poor
Do
Anya.
mamas not like kids or people that already have kids or whatever? And, like, yes, that's true, Anya. I
That
hate to
does
tell you.
happen. That does happen. It's true.
Oh, you got to take that filter off. Has children. Don't have children. It's too much baggage. Bring that shit in.
Some people love
she
kids, though.
goes-
They'd be down for it.
Oh, yeah. You just got to find the right person. There's always a person out there for you folks at home.
That's right.
Even if you're
An
an
assassin.
assassin spy.
And a spy.
Twilight it reassures Anya that that's not the case. You just go watch some TV, and she goes and watches Spy Wars. Anya, the animation on Anya as she watches Spy Wars, which I'm sure is the joke too, is that she's like 4 years old and watching something that she shouldn't be watching. She's standing in front of the TV, and folks at home, you can't know this, but she's going, yeah, like pumping her arms up and down.
It's so cute. She's like so excited to watch the Spy Wars.
Frankie, though, tells Twilight, like, look, you're already one step behind because Anya does not look like the princess of, like, a rich, prestigious family. She looks like a little rugrat. Which, does she? Because she just looks like a little anime kid.
She's just an adorable kid. I don't know. I guess because she's a little bit wilder, she's not like, pristine.
she's
and she's
not
stuck up,
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she's just a little kid.
Right.
Twilight is like, I have to change her look as soon as I match the pairs of symbols to be able to get it. So they go to this preppy fashion place.
I love this line. Go on.
The tailor takes Anya to, like, get measured.
Yes.
If you please come with me.
I'm being sold at traffickers!
You won't if you behave.
To which Floyd responds, only if you're bad.
I love it.
And-
I love that so much. Their dynamic is so goofy.
Well, and then he even says, like, where does she get that from? Not thinking about the fact that she watches Spy Wars all the time.
You gotta realize I guess we should be questioning where she came from. She was an orphan. She can
was an
read
orphan.
minds.
She has an 11 type of backstory, too, because at some point, I think in the first
She talks
episode,
about it a little bit.
you see a flashback to where they're
making
like,
her
there's all
do
these scientists
tests.
trying to get her to do it. Yeah.
They constantly make her do tests and all of that and study and all of this types of stuff. So she was taken at some point and was experimented on, I would think. And that's probably why she can read minds.
No, yeah, that's what they're alluding to, definitely. Floyd looks around at the women in the shop. Oh, there's an activist. That won't do. This woman's married. This one's too old. This one's too young. And then Yor comes in to get her dress fixed.
Yes.
So happenstance works
The
out
meet
in the
cute.
end. I would have thought that she'd make some pretty good money assassinating people. They make it seem like
probably
she's
does.
like making ends meet.
Well,
Don't you think?
I have a feeling that she just like maybe she shows it that way because of her job. Because otherwise, it's like, where are you getting that money? And so
Yeah,
she kind of
that
has
makes
a
sense.
front, and she's just kind of like, I don't really need all of this, but I can at least know I can get by if I need it.
At some point in this, her internal monologue says, like, I'll do this until my killing ends. You could interpret, like,
She is saving
Like-
up money.
yeah, and or the shopkeeper owns her. Like a Black Widow
yeah,
situation
she's got,
where
like,
she
a
can't get out of
contract.
it. Yeah. He sees Yor, and he remembers
He's
her file.
startled by Yor, because he was like, she came up in very quietly, and he wasn't, like, didn't hear her.
Yes. Yeah, he thinks he's losing his edge. And she even says, like, I couldn't help you staring at me.
Which
And
he's
this is
not.
where I
He's
couldn't
got
tell-
his back to her, but she realizes
Yes.
she's paying attention to her because they both
Yeah.
are that aware of their surroundings.
Yes. He's like, how did she sense my gaze? Which I couldn't tell if that's a English translation change.
The male
or
gaze.
if that's a joke because of the male gaze. Yeah, I just
Potentially.
couldn't tell. And to your point, Rachel, I didn't even think about the fact that he has her back to her. So
Yeah.
he's just
He's trying to
focusing
make it
his
obvious that
senses
he's not
on
paying
her.
attention. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not looking at you. I don't even know you're here. I don't even care. I know you're
Right.
paying attention to me.
I just couldn't help but notice how pretty you are. Again, hard to tell if this is a front or not. I don't think it is. I think that she's really this socially awkward. She goes, oh, are you saying that you have a favorable impression of my physical appearance?
It's a really way of saying it, but yeah.
And Floyd goes, I guess so, yeah. So it's the meet cute. Anya comes back. Cute moment again. I'll give
course.
them the cute moments with Anya. Because then the
Anya
first...
Just
I'm gonna
steals
be
my
honest.
heart. I'm telling you.
Gonna be honest. In the first episode, she was a bit annoying.
Oh, sure.
She was a bit
She's a
annoying
child.
for me. Much more cute moments in this episode. She comes in and goes,
She does
Papa,
very. She's a very
they
cute.
told me
kid.
I'm this long.
Yes!
And like,
It is cute that she calls him Papa. I think it's kind of like she could be annoying because she's just a kid on her own, but then when she's like interacting with like other characters, it's just really cute to have that like connection.
in this particular episode, yeah, they do a very good job with the cute little kid stuff. Yours, like, oh my god, I almost like asked out a married woman. They'd hang me for that,
Yes.
apparently. But then she's like, well, I could kill Anya. I like the little moments of assassin boiling up for Yor.
Yes.
She's just like, well, I guess I could kill Anya. And then, like,
I don't think she's saying I could kill Anya, is it? I thought it was
She
like
does. She says I could kill Anya.
Oh. I thought it was kill the wife.
Because Anya reads, oh, maybe that's what she meant. I thought it was I could kill Anya.
But maybe.
And the wife. Yeah.
Maybe it's both.
Anya reads her mind, though, and then realizes that they're not going to ask each other because
they're both being awkward
like,
about it.
Yeah. So Anya, who is not good
I
at
love this.
figuring things out or thinking things through, just cries about wanting a mama.
Yes. Oh, I'm just a lonely child with no mama.
The one thing about the dubbing is that sometimes it can be hard to tell when somebody's internalizing it and somebody's saying it out loud.
Oh, that can
'Cause-
happen. That can happen, yes.
Because I couldn't tell if
Typically they
Twilight
kinda go,
is
like,
like,
quieter a little
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't tell if, I think he internalized that, but I couldn't tell if he said, like, what the hell are you doing?
You don't have a wife? Oh no, yeah, she died a couple years ago, you know?
You're asked if he'll pretend to be her boyfriend. She just wants to put her brother's mind at ease, and he accepts. But in return, he wants Yor to pretend to be Anya's mom.
Yep.
So it happened to work out for both of them here. Very nice. Very convenient.
Yes, of course.
Well, I guess everything is wrapped up in a neat
neat
little
little
package
package.
then.
And that's the end of Spike's family. He found the family. Everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah, we're done. While they're doing this is another part where Anya calls Papa's a big liar.
Because he said that, like, he had a wife and Anya's mom, and he's like, yeah. She's like, no.
yeah, exactly. She's like, yeah, that's not true. At least she doesn't break their
Oh, of
cover,
course.
I guess.
Oh, no, yeah.
Does that happen at all during the the seasons?
What do you
Where she
mean?
like breaks their cover, where she's like, "That's not true." Where one of them lies for them, and she's like, "No, that's not real," or anything like that.
She might do that, but I don't know if it's for big things or there's an easy
Okay.
way to like go, okay, she's just not paying it. No, she's not wrong. She just doesn't understand.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it might
Yeah.
be something like that.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. They're grocery shopping on. You want some peanuts? They call the shop owner Ribbit, and then I
yes.
got it. Like, he's getting codes from the grocery
He just
store.
goes, he says something, then he goes, ribbit. And then he's like, yes,
Yeah.
okay, that's my new code. And then he like
Okay.
reads something and he knows that that's the word he's supposed to be like interpreting everything with.
So he's getting codes, and then he learns that he has another mission on Saturday, and it happens to be the same day as the party. So he's going to have to be in two places at once, a la Fred Flintstone or Corey Matthews. That would have been an interesting dynamic for him to have to keep running back and forth from
Oh
the
my
party.
god,
They could have
having to go
worked with
back
that.
and
That
forth
could have been
between it,
fun.
and then one of the times he's wearing gloves or something or not.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, he shows up to the party bloody.
I mean, yes, you're
So-
right. Yeah, you're right. It does kind of happen.
Him and Frankie need to do it because there's a shortage of spies. And Frankie's like, but I'm just an informant. Meanwhile, Yor is waiting for Lloyd at this like corner intersection thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's an action scene of them getting the stuff, taking out these criminals at like a pier. They have like these jewels or something. Twilight takes them all out. Him and Frankie get into a van.
Yes.
He is planning to take the ring for the mission. So he's going to give Yor the ring to pretend to be his wife.
Of course. That like kind of works out. It's like, oh, that's perfect. I'll just do that.
Yeah, I'll take.
I
this
don't
one.
have to
I like that
purchase anything.
They don't. There's some amorality there
A
because they're
little
like
bit, because
both
the informant
like
was just like,
which
oh,
jewel
what's
are
gonna
you
just
you
go
gonna
disappear?
take? Yeah.
And he's like, you took the biggest one. Maybe that's part of their payment, is they get to have one thing. You get to have one
I think
item.
I think it's under the table.
I
I
have
think
a
that they're.
feeling.
I think they're.
I think
because
it's-
that's why. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said which one of these is going to disappear.
Right. It'd be funny,
There's a
though.
shootout chase between them and these criminals that stole these jewels, and at some point you think like there's like a big car crash.
Yes.
You realize that he's not going to be able to show up.
And so
for
does
this
she.
party.
Because she's like, well, I
Yeah.
guess he's not showing up. Too good to be true. So she goes by herself.
She has to still maintain good work relationships.
Of course.
So she goes to the party.
Because otherwise, that's sketchy. You can't be sketchy in this world.
She shows up, and they make fun of her for being alone. Camilla is being very
she's a bitch.
passive-aggressive. She's way
She's such a bitch.
more passive-aggressive than she was in the first scene. She like,
Because
despises
now she's at her. This
Yor.
is like her home now. So she's like, I can really mess with her because I'm at home, not at work.
Yor just sits at this party by herself. You know how to mingle, Yor. You're an assassin.
Yeah, she's being a bit of a
just go
wallflower.
pretend to talk to people. Yeah, she just sits on this bench near the door, and the girls from work are all like, should we report her? She must be a spy.
Ridiculous.
She's here to lower the country's birth rate, which I was like, okay, that is
That is
flat out
definitely-
a Japan reference. A guy comes up to talk with Yor. It's her brother's friend.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, looks like the guy that you were supposed to bring flaked out, and oh, that's a shame and stuff. And like, oh, you know how Yori,
Yuri.
so it's Yor and Yori.
Yeah.
Yori worries about you,
it's
and it's like,
Yuri.
yeah. Oh, Yuri,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yuri, Yor and Yuri.
There you go.
Whatever, Russ. I was close enough. This guy's name is Dominic.
Well, what's
She
wrong with
asked
that?
him-
You acted like that was weird. You know, this
No, I was
is Dominic.
no, because I was like, why did I say that? Like, who fucking cares what his name was?
If anybody cares, this is Dom.
See, we got Dominic here.
Nobody cares.
See, nobody cares. Yor asks Dominic to lie for her and tell Yuri that he
Like,
did
just
bring.
just tell him I brought somebody.
Her point kind of being like, just say that there was a guy here.
Yeah,
he was
just-
nice because
yeah.
then he'll take
He
the
won't
stupid
worry
job.
about it, and he's such a
Like-
pain.
Like you said, Rachel, I probably will hate this character.
Yes.
Because like, what the fuck is your problem, man? Like, what do you care?
He gets a little gross.
I do
I hope
kind
they
of get
fix
it
him in
that
the
like
future.
I kind of get it that they'd be alone.
Yeah.
At some point, if I was alone, Rachel would be constantly concerned about me. If like
sure.
my like friends or family weren't in the area.
But I think
Like, if
it's
Rachel
just
was-
them. You know, it's
Yeah,
just the
it's
two of
just
them. They
them.
have no other family.
Decades from now, Rachel is gonna be like, Kevin, you have to live with us because you don't have anybody else.
I hope not.
So Camilla comes by and she's being a bitch again.
Oh, you want him to
'cause she's
lie?
like-
She's such a bitch.
She thinks in her head, Yor does, about killing them all. She's like, I could kill all of these people here.
Yeah, just
that
a bit of
would
a
be
dark
fine.
side of her mind right there. I could just
Yeah.
kill them all.
Okay, this next point, because Camilla and her boyfriend or
And her husband.
somebody else are talking.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it's a boyfriend.
Okay.
And at the same time, Yor is shaking her head to get rid of her dark, intrusive thoughts.
Yes.
But they do it too much in the animation.
Yeah.
Where it makes her look fucking crazy.
It's very exaggerated. It's always
she's
very
like,
exaggerated.
like she's like making like fists and like shaking her head like a fucking nutcase.
Sure.
In the middle of this party.
Right.
I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to just make it look like she's like, ugh, like let that thought go by. Like I'm gonna murder everyone here.
Yes.
She's doing it.
They
too
exaggerate
much
everything,
intensity.
of course. Mhm.
Yor is sitting there looking around at all the families at the party because some of these people have kids and stuff, and she's like, I'll never have a family. I think it's all
So you can
supposed
tell
to come
she
off.
wants to.
She wants to be normal. I don't even know if
I
she
think
wants a
she does.
family.
I think
she
she
just
does
wants
like the
to be
idea
normal.
Of it. I think she wants to be normal, and I think she likes the idea of having a family.
I think the weird social norms of this world, it's so like you must have
like
a family.
pressure it.
Yeah, and that's where the misogynistic part comes back. This weird nationalistic, we need the birth rate up, all of that kind of stuff comes in, where I don't know if she necessarily even gives a shit. Like, if it was up to her, she would just live her life.
Sure,
But
I
she
don't
wants
think she
to be
needs it.
normal.
Right, but I do think she likes the idea of it. I don't think it's like against what she would. Otherwise, I don't think she would go into this at all. Really, I don't think she would be as like into it as she seems to be with like.
No, I think she is because it's like her cover.
Well,
like,
I know
she
it's her
realizes
cover,
that...
but my point is, I don't think she would be so. The dynamic, I think, would be very different if she was just like, this is just a cover. I could give a shit about these two people.
I'm kind of there with you, but at the same time, I think that her personality... I think that she's fighting between this idea of being a good person and an assassin and all of this stuff. I think that's why she goes in on it, because
of course that's why
like,
she goes in on it.
She even says, like, I'm going to do this until I don't have to kill anymore. Like, it's a good cover for me. No one at work's going to be suspicious because I have a husband and a kid and all this kind of stuff.
I don't know if that's what she meant by that statement.
I think so.
I don't think so at all. I think she was just saying
Really?
she's just, hopefully she doesn't, like, once she's done killing, she's like, good, I can be normal.
I thought that she was
I don't think
using
it had
as
anything
cover.
about the... No, because she said that before any of this was even a thought or an idea. Like, have ridiculous outfits getting ripped up and having to get them fixed.
She's talking about being with
I don't know
Lloyd.
what... No,
She'll
I don't
only
know what
have
you're
to do
talking
that
about.
that long.
That's not like... That would be later.
Oh, later she says that.
No.
Maybe.
She said it... You said it earlier!
Well, we'll get into it.
I'm so confused right now. You have me
No, she says the thing.
confused, 'cause
She
I
says
don't know
that
if I
thing about
agree
the
with
killing
you.
later. He puts the ring on her finger later, and in their internal monologue, he says, "Until my mission is complete," and she
Okay.
says, "Until my killing is done."
Okay, sure.
That's
At
what
that
I'm talking
point,
about.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. We can talk about
So
it then,
she's-
but you have me just so confused right now. Sure, I guess it's one of those things where she doesn't like... She probably doesn't care too much, and she just wants to be on her own and just do her own thing.
And it helps with the brother dynamic too. Has to do the very polite, old school Japanese thing of being like, "Everyone, I am leaving," but thanking them all that she was invited. But as she's gonna do that, Lloyd does show up with blood all over his face. He's like, whew. Yeah, hey everyone, yeah, yours husband here.
Yes,
And she's like,
he looks like he was just in an accident. He has a concussion.
Yeah.
I'm yours husband. Welcome to my home. I mean, welcome to your home. Hello.
He could have just said, "I got into a car accident."
Yes.
Like, I think that would have been fine as cover.
Probably. Or I got mugged. I don't know. Either way. Like,
And yours like,
you're supposed to be my boyfriend. And he's like, oh shit, I
He's
got
like,
him mixed up.
Shit, I mixed up our missions. Which I think is because he has a concussion. Like,
Yes,
I think that was
I think he does, because he's all wobbly. Like, he's just like, I have a concussion. I'm confused.
Lloyd could have just said, like, oh, sorry, like I just started getting back into the dating world because of my wife passed away or whatever.
Well, I think
and try to save it that way. He just says like, this is my second marriage, whatever.
It's too much to explain at once.
Camilla tries to burn them because she's a psychopath. This lady is fucking crazy.
She is. I think she's like jealous now too. So I think there was this.
Well, she's jealous because Twilight. We haven't described what Twilight looks like. We described what Yor looks like. Twilight looks like a K-pop star.
She's just curvy and boobs, but she's got black hair. She's got red eyes, very red, giant anime eyes. Lloyd is kind of this innocuous guy. He's just, blonde hair, tall, attractive.
He doesn't look like I would have expected a spy to look because he's too pretty boy.
He is pretty
versus your James Bond, Cary Grant handsomeness.
He's also not old. Yes. He doesn't have that smoker oldness either. Yeah.
He looks more like a K-pop singer.
Yes, there you go.
So she's jealous because she's got this hot
Well, I
husband
think
now.
she was already jealous of Yor because she's very attractive, but kind of plays like
Yor's got those curves
and
that
she's
could be
just
knocking him dead.
And she doesn't even try. This is ridiculous. And then because she's this blonde mean girl. That's that would be the easiest way to describe her, blonde mean girl. So I think once she sees and now you actually have a husband and he's attractive, that's not fair.
Right. So she takes this tray of sushi or shrimp or something, and she's going to burn them with it.
Yeah. Oh, oops, and almost drops it on them.
But then Yor is able to grab it all because of her assassin-like reflexes.
With her foot.
and one of them does fall on Camilla's face and it burns Camilla, and Camilla's like, "Wah!" But at the same time, I like Lloyd's response to this, which is like,
I love that you're so mindful about wasting food, Yor, but I'm not so sure it's good manners to use your feet,
And she's like, oh yeah, sorry. Just reaction.
So then Camilla is like, all right, bitch, I'm gonna get you back for this. And it's like, oh, I know what your old job was, where random men would call you to their hotel room for massages.
Massages, quote unquote.
Yeah, because they all think that she's
like, no, that was really what it was. That was massaging.
Yeah, she could just be like, yeah, that's what it was. It was literally massages.
Well, that's what Lloyd gets at too. Yeah, it was.
No, I think Lloyd is like,
and she
it's
did
okay
what she
if
needed
was
to
an
do.
Escort.
Also,
she did what
that
she had to do.
Yeah, it was partial. One, don't shame her, and two, it was literally
just
massages.
Don't shame sex workers.
Yeah, and then and then it was Yor kind of going, well, actually, it was my assassin job, but yeah.
Yeah, Yor's like, I mean, that was cover, but whatever. He knows all this stuff about her, which if I was Yor, I'd be like, the fuck?
Well,
but
I think she may have probably given him some
She had to
stuff.
prep him with some stuff.
Yeah.
He kind of tries to make Camilla look like an asshole because he's like, she did what she had to do and all of this
She
stuff.
took care of her brother. They didn't have parents. Everything worked out.
It reminds him of why he does all the spy stuff. You see some flashbacks to him thinking about how he does all of his spy work and is proud of that as well. They leave the party. The van is all beat up. So what did he say? This cover is extremely flimsy and terrible.
So silly.
So he's pretending to be a psychologist. He's like, oh yeah, my patients had some psychotic breaks on the way here. They tried to murder me.
Right.
I have to play along.
And then it happens again.
Some guys come back to get Twilight from the smuggling ring. There's a tracker in the loot. Mm-hmm. He's astonished that she believed it.
Yeah,
because he's like, all right, you're either incredibly stupid or something else is going on. Rachel, what is it? Is it just because she's naive?
I think it's
just like,
it's part of the naivety and how she just kind of wants this to work.
Go with it.
She wants it to work, so she's just like, okay, sure. Psychiatrist, psychotic break, weird, we have to punch my patients.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know, I'm an assassin. Maybe that's what they do now in psychiatry.
They're using a new method, the concussive recovery method, on the smugglers as Twilight takes down these guys that are chasing them down.
Yes.
At some point, one of the smugglers is going to jump from the top down to stab Lloyd, but Yor kicks him and saves him from getting stabbed.
And then feels really bad because she's like, maybe I shouldn't be kicking your patients because that doesn't seem right.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, no, and she says that her brother taught her martial arts or how to defend herself because she's
He
a
taught
girl
me
in the big
everything.
city.
Yeah, because that's
So
not normal.
they laugh about kicking the guy, and then they take out some more thugs. As they're doing this, she asks Lloyd to marry her. I like that it reverses on them. He is,
also he finds her incredibly impressive. I think he's attracted.
Oh, because
to
of
her
the
at this
fighting.
point.
Well, but also he does say the line in his head like she's either very stupid or very smart. Like
Yes.
he can't. I think he's more intrigued by her.
I think so, too.
He can't figure her out.
Yes.
And being the way that he is with his spyness, he always can read everybody. A very anime moment for me because when she asks him to marry her, he goes doing and like falls over. It's this very anime thing where he like huh? And like trips, but it like freeze frames on him.
Yes, it does. That does happen.
Happens a lot in Totally Spies as well. That
I think that's kind of the
Totally Spies is anime style. It
Yes.
is 100% anime style. People are suspicious of her, and it would camouflage her, is what she kind of tells him. Mm-hmm. And she's thinking in her head that it also covers for the assassin gig. And then they're like, we'll stay together for both of our sakes.
Right.
Like, it helps all of us. He gets back up and tells Yor, let's go fill out the paperwork. At like 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday. I guess they're able to do this.
Right. I did think it was kind of funny because he was like, oh, no time like the present, and was going to give her the ring, but he dropped it.
He dropped the ring.
In my head, that ring is what actually had the tracker in it. But that's just because
interesting.
of like how, all of this. So it's
No,
like, oh,
that
he
could
dropped
work.
it, so now he
Be a
doesn't have the
fine little
tracker.
cannon.
But like he grabs a grenade, takes the pin off of it, throws
Where
it.
Did the thugs have the
they
grenade?
had a grenade. Yeah, he grabbed it off of a body, took the pin off, threw it at the bad guys, and then puts it on her finger, the ring from the grenade. So then you have the
I like that.
explosion while they're like, he's proposing.
In this anime style,
It's
like they're
great.
in the foreground.
It's
and
very
the
silly, very
explosion
action
happens.
romance scene.
Until my mission,
Until my killing.
do us part.
Felt like it had. That has to be. I would put money on the line. That's straight out of the manga.
I bet it's straight out of the manga, and I have a feeling that's a huge thing that's going to be a big part of the story later on.
Well, you would know.
I don't.
The whole
I
thing.
don't. There's only a couple.
Have
seasons.
you watched the 2 seasons though?
I have not watched this. Well, I haven't watched the newest one that just came out.
Oh, okay. The second season.
Yes.
There's 2 seasons. There's 2 seasons. It's apparently kind of weird.
They
the
kind
first
of
season
mash
is
'em.
split up into 2 parts.
Right. I've read
and
those.
then there's
I've
a
watched
second
those,
season.
but I haven't seen the second season yet. And I have a feeling that's not going to happen until a while later. It just feels like such an overarching thing for this series.
And that's the end of the episode. It gives us a little preview of what the 3rd episode will be, which is the interview. Obtain a wife? What is it?
Secure a wife.
Secure a wife. Thank you. I knew it was a word that didn't fit right. Mm-hmm. That was Secure a Wife, the 2nd episode of Spy X Family.
Yes.
Rachel, it's going to be harder for me to give a stance on the shelf lifeness, but for you will be able to say, does this episode have shelf life?
Yes. It does, okay? For me, it does. I really enjoy the story of this show. I like how it brings in Yor and her weird dynamic with people and her kind of balance her assassinness with being a normal person. Because she's been an assassin for so long, it kind of makes her awkward. But it also becomes a convenient thing that both of them need each other. Fun to see how that dynamic is going to, first start off and then how it's going to play out later on. It's a fun world. I like it a lot. I love Anya. She, like I said, she kind of has my heart. She's so adorable.
Anya has pink hair and the cat
she's got
ear
she has the little caps
and
on the sign.
The big anime circular eyes, like you'd expect.
Right. She
from
looks like a
little
doll.
kid in a...
But
Fair.
go ahead.
And I mean, you picked this one.
I did.
So of course.
But it's a spy. It was for Spy Summer. How can I not say Spy X Family when it's adorable? It's so perfect.
So, I mean, these are the only 2 episodes I've seen. So I cannot, in good conscience, say it has shelf life, because with something like this, I think you have to know more
Get
of
a
it
little
to
bit of
understand
extra
it.
story. Fair.
It's a good episode, though.
Would it
It's
make
a good
you
episode.
watch more?
Yes. So what I was about to say is it does work. It's a pretty good episode. I'm intrigued to see how it goes. So I will probably... I have a feeling I will say that a lot here on Saturday Morning Shelf Life. I'm intrigued to see what else happens.
Right.
Despite the anime style, which I'm still not a huge fan of.
Which is fair. Art style is
just
kind of
because
a
it's-
preference thing. Yes.
But I am curious to see where it goes. So I would not be surprised if I watched more of this at some point, and if we do Summer of Spies 2 or something, that this would come back into play. As is, though it's a good episode, I would recommend people, if this is kind of your thing, give it a chance.
Sure. To me, this is
Because
also... I would add
was
this
able
to
to
my
watch
list
it,
of...
so.
If you haven't watched animes before, I think this could be fun.
It could
if
be a
you
good
like
spot to
action, if you like spy stuff, I think this would be a fun way of getting into anime.
If it was accessible enough for me, it's probably accessible enough for a lot of the people out there that would
Absolutely.
be interested in it. It's better than the first episode. I thought the first episode was only okay, and then this one I thought was a lot better. It's a higher rated episode in general if you go on the internet and look at like a lot of different sites as well. So yeah, that was Spy X Family.
Woo!
We'll see if it comes back on Shelf Life or not. Okay, Rachel, let's take a quick break. We have to recharge here. When we come back, another exciting spy adventure. This time it is...
Totally Spies.
That's right. When we
Woo.
come back. Shelf Life Saturday morning. Saturday morning. Shelf Life. Shelf Life.
Secret Sam.
Where?
Secret Sam.
Here.
Secret weapon in this case shoots from inside.
Secret Sam.
Real camera.
Really works.
Takes real photos inside outside.
Black and white.
Color 16 photos from each roll.
Secret Sam.
With periscope, message missile, rifle stock, barrel extension, shoots from outside, shoots from inside. Real camera.
Hide it inside.
Hold it outside. Real photos. There's only one Secret Sam.
Now, another wonderful toy from Topper.
Saturday morning, Shelf Life.
We're gonna get it, stop, and we'll shop. And then we'll shop. The Totally Spies is totally
Here we
Spies.
go. We're totally spies, so now get on with the show. Here we go.
And we're back, boys and girls. It is time for another exciting episode of Saturday Morning Shelf Life that we're covering today. And boys and girls, since it is a special spy edition of Saturday Morning Shelf Life, we thought it would be good to teach you the word of the day, which is espionage.
Espionage. Should I give a definition?
Yeah, if you have
Hold on.
a definition.
Espionage, the practice of spying or of using spies, typically by governments to obtain political and military information. Espionage.
Isn't that fun, boys and girls? After our next
Totally.
break, Rachel's going to show you some special instruments that our spy friends use in their day-to-day lives.
That's right.
But first, Rachel, what is up next for contention to the shelf today?
We are going to be talking about the 2001 episode 7
Yes.
of Totally Spies.
The Fugitives.
The Fugitives.
Now, Rachel, when you proposed all of these spy shows,
Yes.
and we were like, well, we could do a Saturday Morning Spy episode, I kept coming back to, like, okay, there's Kim, possible. And I was like, I don't know what else there is. And I remember looking down the list and being like, there's something called Totally Spies. And you were like, yeah, I've already got that for doing that one. And I was like, what the fuck is Totally Spies? So can
they're
you
spies.
please explain what Totally Spies is and your history with it?
Charlie's Angels and anime and bright colors of like the 70s totally girls.
And anime style.
I said anime.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I wasn't
Charlie's
paying
Angels anime.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
This one was one that I used to watch all the time because it was just, it was silly and it was on,
I just don't
and it was
ever
colorful.
remember
and...
you watching it.
Yeah.
But maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Definitely. Feel like it was like an after school, less so of a Saturday morning and more so of an after school show.
Yeah.
You come home, you throw your stuff down, you like relax for a minute because school sucked, and then you watch something silly.
So obviously this is the first time I am watching Totally Spies because I had no idea what it was. I watched the first and second episode, and then I went and looked around the internet for like top rated episodes that were like in the first season,
Right.
or like what are the early like top rated episodes. So after watching the first two, I noticed a pattern developing where it's like, okay, so what is the show is about?
The show is about 3 teenagers in high school who are also spies for an organization called Whoop.
Whoop.
Kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D., if you think about it that way.
It's kind of like
You it's like mix Charlie's Angels with S.H.I.E.L.D., and then you have Whoop. They go to school, they get a mission, they get gadgets, they do mission.
They get thrown into
and then they go back
in
to
a different
school.
way every time.
Exactly, yes.
The
it's almost like
villain
Whoop is underneath their school and stuff, too, or just everywhere. It's like they're just under the
everywhere.
entire city.
Yeah. So it always, something happens at school. They get thrown into a tunnel of some kind that takes them to Whoop.
Yes.
They get their gadgets, they get their mission, they get captured on the mission.
Typically.
They overcome in some way, shape, or form the bad guy, and the villain is usually some sort of ex or somebody with a grudge against Whoop or the girls themselves.
Yeah,
it's like
that does tend
I
to
could tell
happen.
after the first two, I was like, all right, I think I see what's going on
It's not all
here.
the time, but that is a trope, yes, that they use heavily.
So this is it's a Canadian show, almost French Canadian, I think. It's a French animation studio doing an anime style. They thought that there was a dearth of action stuff for girls in the market. So there wasn't a lot. It's kind of weird because, I mean, we're going to talk about Kim Possible. That's like 2002. This is 2001. So it was in the atmosphere, all of this spy stuff.
Right.
And particularly spy stuff for kids and particularly spy stuff for girls. I don't know why that is.
That is interesting. I never really
spy
think
kids,
about it.
There's Kim Possible, there's like Cody Banks and all that kind of shit.
Kid Next Door is mostly boys, but I mean, there's also like the girls that are a part of it too. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other
for
spy
some
stuff.
reason. But
Girl
yes,
power.
Charlie's Angels. I think
Spice Girls.
Spice Girls.
That's why I did the girl power
influence.
thing.
Yeah. So it ran from 2001 to 2007. There were 5 seasons, and then there was a movie that came out in France. I don't know if you've ever
I've seen the movie.
that.
I don't think I have.
And then in 2013, there was another season, and now there's another season in 2024, 2025. To which Rachel does not like the animation style.
I don't know.
But yeah,
there's just something weird and uncanny because I'm just used to the old style.
Here, I did not realize. So it apparently debuted on ABC Family. Okay. Did not realize that. And then the show went to Cartoon Network. That's probably where you watched it.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the
Absolutely.
time.
It was a Cartoon Network for me.
You were a Cartoon Network child.
Yes.
That was your thing.
Dun, 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 dun. Cartoon.
But has
cartoon.
floated around and it's been all over the place. The one thing that I noted when I was doing my research, Rachel, and we'll get into it as we do the walkthrough.
Okay.
People online say that this is one of those, like, especially because I'm guessing it's partly because it's girls.
Sure.
And it's partly because it's French animation. They're like all of the kinks. There's like sexual stuff in the episodes all over the place. And I was like, I don't see that. I think that's just pervert being pervert.
That's a pervert
or it's
being a
people looking for
pervert.
things.
That's totally a pervert being a pervert.
There are definitely there are definitely some examples that I agreed with, but I think that people are reaching for a lot of things. Them getting tied up in every fucking episode,
But
that's just a part of the trope of the show.
A spy. Yeah.
There are Tootsies in some of the episodes. Yeah.
Like Tootsie
There are-
Toes?
there are like feet. There are
I don't
shots
think I've
of
noticed
feet in some of the
that.
episodes.
I don't think I ever noticed that.
Even in this one that we're going to talk about, they take Clover's foot or a shoe off, her boot
for
off,
like
and
a
she like twinkles her
second.
toes. I know. I'm just telling
That's
you,
a
like
pervert
people
being
are
a
like,
pervert. Okay, look, if
Yeah.
any of you perverts are listening, you're just a pervert. You think so because you're a pervert.
No, I'm telling you, I think it's because
Not
it's
you.
girls and it was the French style. You know, it's
I don't
the
know.
French.
Don't
We put
sexualize
those
teenagers.
sexual
Just
things.
saying.
They went to college in one of these seasons. I
Yeah,
found
later
that out, too.
on. God.
All right, so
one of the things I do like is that they do have different outfits all the time. I always thought that was kind of fun. That's a lot of to do for the animators too, because they have to
make those
change them.
styles,
Yeah, they have changed their hair. They change their hairstyle, not hair totally. Change their hairstyles and their clothing, which is kind of fun. It just makes it a little bit more interesting and dynamic.
there's apparently a live-action television series in development and will debut on Prime.
Yeah, of course there is.
Hang on. Is there really, though? Now I have to, wouldn't it just be Charlie's Angels? Isn't Charlie's Angels just the live-action version of this show? Will Ferrell is the executive producer of it. I guarantee you he's going to play Jerry, and it's going to suck.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Is that what no, I hope he doesn't, because Jerry is, supposed to be, he feels way more like, Alfred.
Yes.
Then it's just gonna be like.
I thought
Then
that
it's
too.
gonna be like Charlie's Angels, where what's his name played Bosley. What's his name?
Bill Murray.
Bill
And
Murray.
then Bernie Mac.
Yeah,
I think.
I forgot
One
about
of them
Bernie
did it.
Mac.
I can't remember
doing
who
it.
did it.
But I was
can't
thinking
remember who
Bill
did it
Murray
first.
because comedian. But at the same time,
No one has been
Bernie Mac
cast
is a
yet. There's
comedian,
nothing
too.
there,
I don't
so
know.
I don't. This is probably one that's not ever actually going to happen. And then there actually are comic books. They were released monthly in Sweden, so there you go. This is a new one for me. Let's see what happens. We're going into this one because it was one of the higher-rated episodes of the series. It is called The Fugitives. It is the 7th episode of Season 1 and breaks the trope and breaks the mold a little bit. I have a feeling that's part of why it was higher rated.
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
I
two
would think so.
episodes, I watched the one where they go to Tokyo and pretend to be a band, and the guy that they're opening for this label is trying to take over the world via brainwashing. And then the second episode, somebody replaces Jerry, who is their... What's the name in Charlie's Angels?
Bosley.
Bosley.
Isn't
thank
it
you.
Bosley?
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I had it
Uh,
right before, and then I got confused. I was like, oh wait, did I say it wrong?
He's actually trying to sabotage the girls, so they have to learn how to respect Bosley, how to respect Jerry. But this one, Rachel, what is the plot of The Fugitives?
In this one, the girls are on video heisting a bank, I guess is the way I would say it.
Yeah,
robbing
just
a
robbing
bank.
a bank.
Just robbing a
Yeah.
bank. And Whoop is trying to capture them to reprogram them. And they're
yeah,
trying to,
yes, okay. Well, I mean, we'll have to
clear
get
their
into
names.
this. Let's get into the block.
Look,
and then they're trying
that
to
is
clear their names.
extreme. It's
Which makes me
extreme.
wonder, because, I mean, I opened today's show by saying, how in the world do you become a spy?
Mm-hmm.
Can I apply for this? How did these three become a spy? Especially when all they go on is they think that they robbed a bank, and they're like, you know what? We're going to give the three of you lobotomies. That's what they're going to do. So are they super soldiers or something? You told me how Kim Possible became part of the spy racket.
that was an accident.
I think that these three were made in a lab or something.
No, I don't
because
think
what are you
so.
talking about? That's your reaction to them potentially being bank robbers.
Do you want me to tell you what I just looked up? Because I just looked it up because I don't remember. Because I think
Sure.
there had to have been an episode on it. There had to have been
Okay.
mentions of it.
There has to be an origin story out there somewhere.
This is saying that Whoop secretly watched them as they were children because they noticed how they could be sneaky and intelligent in nature. So they're like, okay, hold on, let's see if this develops further. And then they recognized their potential and then recruited them into Whoop. Then they trained them to be
Okay.
spies. So they trained them in combat, technology, and espionage.
Seems pretty insane to me.
Doesn't it, though? But it also feels like something that, a weird organization like Whoop would do.
So the show begins. We got to talk about the theme because the theme is where it starts.
Here we go.
We're gonna go to the shop and we'll shop. And then we'll shop. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, hold on.
Here we go. Okay.
All right, lyrics are, here we go. We're getting out of the road till we stop, and then we'll shop. So 1, 2, 3, now baby, here we go, go, go. Here we go, here we go. On a mission undercover, and we're in control. Here we go. Here we go. We're the Totally Spies, so we'll get on with the show. Here we go. Here we go.
I like the end
Here
saying,
we go.
we'll get on with the show.
I love that.
But this theme is okay, but I feel like it could have been a lot better. It feels like
probably.
a discount theme.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of threw it together.
Somebody just threw it together. They were sitting there like, oh crap, we need a theme song. So then they just...
crap, we forgot to come up with a theme.
So the person was like, here we go, here we go.
Just keep saying, here we go, here we go.
They're kind of girly, so I guess they're gonna shop. Here we go. They're undercover. It's a
with
mission.
AI slap.
But this is a show, so we'll just, let it go. Here we go.
Let it go.
Oh wait, no, that's a different one. We can't do that.
Well, they could at the time.
That's true. That's where they got it, because this just says, here we go, here we go. That's let it go, let it go. It's the same one.
It sounds a lot like it. I think, who came up with this? What company did this? It was made by Zodiac Kids and Family France. You guys might have a case.
I love it.
Yeah, somebody remix that. Remix Let It Go with Here We Go from Totally Spies for me. I appreciate that.
Elsa is now a spy.
Would you be...
I mean, honestly, she should be.
That surprised
That's actually,
if
but would
they
be better.
did like Frozen 3 and now she has to spy do something like that.
I would not be
I've still
surprised.
never seen those movies, but regardless.
Yeah, I've seen them both. She's not
As
a spy.
we discussed, the style is anime with some flower power. Even to the point where and I don't know what cartoons it's aping off of, if it is aping off of, because it feels familiar, where it would do things like Totally Spies. And the title card comes up.
Yeah.
And then it whooshes into the next scene and stuff like that.
I just feel like
or,
that's
it freezes
a thing
on the
that
faces going ugh! And then it goes to the next scene.
I feel like that's just a late 90s, early 2000s thing. I feel like a lot of shows and a lot of cartoons did that. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe it's kind of, what's the Sailor Moon? I'm thinking maybe Sailor Moon could be a part of that. And then I'm like Scooby-Doo almost, because they kind of have that feeling.
Yes.
And then I'm even
Sailor Moon's a
sometimes
good
it makes
comp.
me think of the Power Rangers, and I know that's live action, but it also has that feeling sometimes.
There's definitely a lot of influence on Totally Spies.
Yes.
It's filled with derivativeness of a lot of these other influences. We're at a bank in Phoenix, and our spies walk in. There's the three girls. Rachel, go ahead and let's just talk about the three girls right now.
Okay, sure. Oh, so Sam, there's a Sam, Clover, and Alex. Those are the three main characters, the three main spies that we have. And Sam is pretty much the leader girl of the group. She's the redhead.
She's the redhead.
Yes.
She's just picture Mary Jane Watson in your head. There you go. That's Sam.
They're all very girly. So they're actually very feminine, very girly girls.
Very girly girls.
Which is
They go to
fine.
Beverly Hills High School.
Oh, yeah. That, too. Yes. So that kind of gives you another idea of what they're like.
Yeah, they're Valley girls.
Right. Yeah, they're very Valley girls. Yeah. Anyways.
It's just that they all have small differences in their personalities.
Yes. So it's like I said, Sam has that leader personality, a bit more of the intelligent one. I think she kind of is a bit more of a brainiac. Then we have Clover, who is the blonde, short-haired
She's the
blonde.
Cute one. She's the one that Kevin
she's
would
the
be
one that's
oh,
just
she's cute.
ooh, boys. She loves boys.
She's a boy chaser.
She's a boy chaser. It's kind of silly. Her strengths are probably more physical, I think. Not just in the, using her body to get what she wants with boys type of thing, but actually physical strength, I think she would probably be. Okay. I'm trying to think of what their quirks would be.
Well, because the way, possibly we don't really see them fight in this episode, or even in the first couple. She seems to be the one. Granted, I have a very limited scope.
No, this is
I've
fine.
watched
Go ahead.
3 of these, but in 2 of the episodes, she's the one that gets captured first. And I don't know why that is. And maybe they all rotate on who gets captured, and I just happen to stumble across 2 where she does. If I had to say what their expertise is, yes, Sam's got the more leadership,
she's more logical,
more
intelligent,
operative, can come up with a plan.
Yes.
Alex seems more techie. She always is the one fiddling around with gadgets, flies the helicopter in this first and stuff like that. Clover is
I still
the
think she's
fashionable one, but I don't know.
All right. From what I remember, it's Sam being the intelligent, Clover being the strength, like the athletic. Then we have Alex being like the tech, the heart, right? And that's kind of
Okay.
I let me look for a second. Give me a second.
Oh, do you think Totally Spies has its own wiki?
I think they
didn't
do.
look at that.
They do. Sam, she is the intellectual of the trio, is what this says. She's kind of acts like the older sister of the other two. Tends to be the more mature of them. Then we have Clover, which what you said, fashionable one. There you go.
She is.
But she's also
she's
athletic.
She's the one that Kevin would, like, a younger Kevin would have been like, oh, she's the cute one.
I always thought Alex was the cute one. But anyways,
Alex has the freckles, so she's
adorable.
The on her.
But Clover also is athletic, agile, strong, and then her negatives are being impulsive and spontaneous.
100%.
Which tends to put her in those, like, you know, tricky situations. Then we have Alex, who is the heart of the trio. Now, I will tell you this. They always put her and kind of force her. She's like I think it's the little sister, where, like, the two older sisters are going to force the little sister to do the things they don't want to do.
Like hanging from the helicopter?
Like hanging from the helicopter. She always ends up having to do that kind of stuff.
Got it. Clover is the blonde. Sam is the redhead. Alex has black hair.
Oh, yeah, Alex has black
skin.
hair. She's darker skin.
Slightly darker skin.
Right.
But yeah, those are the three with their respective Charlie's Angels-esque personalities.
Right.
Here they go.
Sam wears bright
Here they
green.
go. Oh yeah, they all have
Clover
different
wears
spy,
red, and Alex wears yellow.
Yeah. So we're at this bank in Phoenix, and the spies walk in. They're wearing their spy outfits, so they're dressed in the three colors that Rachel mentioned, and they tell the bank that they are going to rob the bank.
Then they use a bunch of gadgets.
They're using, like, headphones as some sort of gadget thing. It lets off some gas, and they loot the place. And then they make sure that they get caught on camera, because they all look at the camera and wave and say, yeah. Which should let you know that something weird is happening.
Yes, because why wouldn't they do this? If they're spies, why aren't they doing this secretly, covertly?
Right. Meanwhile, at Beverly Hills High School, the girls walk up to see Clover in cowboy chic.
An outrageous outfit. It's so ugly.
Well, the thing that puts it over the top is she has a battery pack in the back of it, and she can turn the shirt on so that
the star glows.
There's a star on the front, and it, like, glows and lights up and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And the reason she is doing this is she is trying to get with this dude that transferred from Texas.
Yep.
So she
Billy
thinks
Bob.
that if I just dress up like a cowgirl, I'll just,
I'll remind him of his homeland,
boy.
and then he'll like me. God damn it, Clover.
How dare you? How dare you be mean to Clover? She goes to talk to Billy Bob, but then their version of Bonnie, Mandy, I'm going to repeat it within the Kim Possible episode.
It's true, though. Yes. They have their own little rival.
This one, though, reminded me, and Rachel, you will understand this reference probably better than anyone on the planet, of the rival in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Mm-hmm. She's drawn like her.
Yeah, that's
she
it.
looks
Archie,
like her.
Almost like an Archie comic. They almost feel like an Archie comic.
Well,
yes, I know exactly
Archie.
what you're talking about. Yeah, animated Archie. But you know what I mean. But yes, I agree. She is very like Sabrina's.
I can't remember that girl's name. Libby?
Libby! It's Libby! It's Libby!
Yeah, so that's what this girl reminds me of. And so this is Mandy.
100% has that, like, I'm jealous and I'm going to one-up you all the time kind of personality.
Jealous, kind of like stuck up, like always.
Oh, yeah.
She
I
is
have
the
to be
girl's
better than you.
antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And she is wearing the same outfit.
The exact same ugly outfit.
And asks Billy Bob out first. And Billy Bob's like, well, that sounds great, Bandy. That's the voice they give him.
It's so
I'm not
stupid. Yes, we're not just making fun of Texans. They also were making fun of Texans.
Clover is pissed that Mandy has stolen her look. And then the other mean girls back Mandy up, who are also dressed in cowboy girl chic.
Yes.
And they're like, Mandy's been doing this forever, Clover. She is always on top of the game when it comes to fashion.
And she pretty much invented the rhinestone. It's like, that's stupid. And you know it.
As is tradition on these episodes, Clover is portrayed as the boy chaser.
Yes.
Does she lose her top at this point, or is that later on in the episode where they do like the anime zoom in and her like face turns completely
this is
red
when
and
she
she's
turns
like,
red and gets angry and then imagines Mandy getting ran over by a train.
Okay.
I just wanted her to have a mustache and be like, ooh. That's very Dudley Do Right. I don't know if anybody would get that, but that's always what it reminds me of.
It's a trope now. People know what that means. The snively whiplash, putting the girl on the
Well, because
train.
they even do the anime symbol of anger, which is that like little swirly-doo kind of on the corner. People know what I'm talking about. That little like...
I'm sure they do.
You know, the U shapes all converging, and you put it there, and it's like they're like angry.
She's conveying anger. Clover opens her locker, and the girls are sucked into the Whoop agency for a mission. Whoop stands for... hang on, I wrote it down.
That's
World,
fine.
because I saw it. It's like, it's on the plaques. The World Organization of Human Protection. Whoop.
Whoop.
There it is. So they get pulled in. That was a lame ass joke. It really cracked Rachel.
Because it was so dumb.
So they usually get pulled in for a mission. This time, though, Jerry, who is their Alfred, he looks like Alfred,
or Bosley,
acts like Alfred.
Yeah.
Or he's their Bosley, but he looks like Alfred.
Exactly. Because he acts like a butler. He has that butler sound. Or like the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. What's his name? Agent Coulson. Like, he also kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's their handler.
He's the handler.
Jerry pulls them into some sort of like prison bubble thing,
yeah,
where
like
they like are
electrocutes
like
them.
trapped in this, and they're like, Jerry, what gives? And they're like, I'm sorry, girls, but we have this evidence here that you committed this robbery, and they show them footage of doing the robbery.
They didn't even say
tell-
like if they're like somebody's framing us here, we can prove where we were during this robbery. Nothing. No, Whoop is just like, no nonsense, we're gonna rip your brains out. Let's go.
We have many replacements for you. We have teenage girls all over the
They're
world
lining
that
up.
can replace you. We'll just lobotomize you. So this is my problem, Rachel, with this whole like, oh, they just trained them from birth, which is bizarre as well. Okay, so 3 things about this. Do these girls have parents?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I think so. I want to say that I've seen them before.
So do the parents know that they're spies?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
Or...
I mean, I would...
No. Well, okay, so I think that's a loaded question. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Well, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember if it was they don't know that they're spies, or if it's they actually are also Whoop agents.
Oh, interesting.
And I think
that would
it
make more
might
sense.
be that at least one of them is also a Whoop agent.
Okay. I mean, this is early on in the cartoon, so you can, I guess, forgive them for not being like, your children were robbing a bank, so we're going to lobotomize them, Mr. whatever. It seems extreme. It seems like an extreme thing for them to do this. Now, the whole idea is they're going to implant microchips into the girls' brains.
Like, control them.
Yeah. I don't know if that is a theme here of, like, misogyny.
It's all a bunch of dudes. Every
spy
single one of the
women's-
people going after her are men. I'm just saying, the entire group is just guys. It could be.
I mean, there's probably something that you could say with that as well. Third,
It also proves that none of these men want to listen. And if they would just listen...
when you take into account that the first episode, I think it was just some rogue guy that got like scarred and became evil.
Mm-hmm.
The second episode is a rogue Whoop agent. I'm sure that there are many other episodes that are rogue Whoop
Yes.
agents. And this episode is like a rogue, like they scarred him as well. Is this happening all the time?
I think it must be.
Whoever the
This
board is
probably
at
what they're
Whoop.
creating villains doing this. I think is what's happening.
That's what I'm saying. They created so many of their own problems,
Yes.
it feels like.
Maybe it turns
So-
out that Whoop is the bad guys. Maybe they are the bad guys.
Now that would be an interesting twist.
Just
if
saying.
like by like season 7 we learn that they actually have to stop Whoop.
They have to
like
stop
go on
Jerry
their
because
own.
Jerry's actually a supervillain.
Maybe Jerry didn't know. Maybe Jerry
Oh, you want Jerry to be a good guy?
That's right.
I do too, actually. I like Jerry.
But like I'm just sitting here like Okay, Whoop. This seems to be a regular
so
occurrence.
extreme. I agree.
That your agents become in some way, shape, or form evil.
Oh, you're power hungry? Let's lobotomize you.
Maybe that's why they're like, you know what? We need a way to stop this. We're gonna implant
They
chips into
figured
the
it out.
brains.
They're like,
The second that something seems to go awry, lobotomies.
Maybe that's what
lobotomies
it is.
all
the
around.
last one that turned evil, we weren't able to fix, and now they're off being a supervillain. All right, we need a solution for this. A lot of our agents are becoming supervillains. What do we got? Oh, chips? Chips could work, because then we can control them like robots. Great.
Hello there, Agent Johnson. Welcome aboard to Whoop. Now, this next waiver that you need to sign is when you retire, you're lobotomized. That's just part of the gig. You're on the job for 10 years, and then we lobotomize you. We cannot have any more stray ends
Oh my God.
from all of these Whoop agents becoming evil international terrorists, you see.
It would explain Agent 47 if he worked for Whoop. He's just confused all the time.
You know what, though? I would very much like if the Hitman series had a level where you could either play as or play with the Totally Spies.
That would be fun.
I think that would be
I
a
like
lot
it.
of fun. He has to team up with Whoop.
There's a
IOI or whatever
Agent 47.
Get on that, please.
We have a company that you are going to be working with today. We have 3 spies that are also going to be accompanying you.
Your
They have-
contacts are at Beverly Hills High School.
code name. Well, I guess they're not code names, but named Sam, Clover, and Alex. They will come with you, and they have gadgets themselves.
Level starts with him as a substitute teacher.
Oh
so
my
he's,
God!
Like, writing on the blackboard.
So they don't even know it's him. He's like, I need you guys to stay after class, and then they
I need
do
you
like.
to stay after class.
I can imagine that being.
Oh
a
my
part of
God!
it. Oh my God! Not
of
again.
course, this would happen to us.
I have to go find Chet. He just went to the lunchroom.
No, I'm just imagining like they like follow him on the mission, and he like comes
And
up
he's
with
just
like this elaborate way, and just like murders the guy. He just like walks up from
God.
behind and does the thing where he like dunks somebody's head in a toilet, and the 3 girls like start shrieking like,
And they're like,
"Oh
my God,
God!
Agent 47, we didn't do that. What are you doing?
We don't usually murder them. They usually just get captured in like
They're
a net
really
or something."
stupid.
Anyway, where are we here?
I don't
okay.
know.
So
Jerry.
they explain to them that they're going to reprogram the girls. If you're the girls,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to kind of be wondering, like, did Whoop already change our personalities? Are we
I
just
would have thought the
Wolverines?
same thing. I would have been like, okay,
Are we just
is there
Weapon
something
X
already
over
there?
here?
Am
I
I
mean,
already
we'll-
implanted? Do I have a
we'll
QR
talk
code
about it
on the back
later
of my
on.
head? What's happening?
Controlling spies' brains, memory
Yes.
wipes is a theme
It is
in
a-
Volume 6, Summer of Spies. It
Absolutely.
happens quite a lot across of our subjects here.
It really does.
So they put them in this bubble prison thing. It's like this big globe. It's like a.
It's
like
Hulk's
where-
prison.
where- All right, thank you. Because I was gonna say it's where Loki ends up in Avengers, and yes.
Oh
that's
yeah, that
correct.
is also
It's
the same
Hulk's
thing.
prison.
Yeah, because that's where they put Loki.
And who is that guy? His fashion sense is terrible.
He wears purple pants. I don't understand. Or is it Loki? He's got horns. I don't
More
understand.
Loki.
What's that
Got
supposed
this
to
horn
do for
helmet
you?
on. Oh, you look so.
Oh, the
look at
cape,
this
I
guy.
see.
Thinks that he's so fucking great with this
Actually,
stupid
I feel like
robe
Clover
on.
would be like, "Who's that?" And then that's way more of what it would be.
Yes. All right. That's
I did
fair.
her voice really well
That's
just
fair.
then. I just realized.
That was very good, Clover. I can't remember who's doing it now, but a production company for Totally Spies. If you need a new Clover, I'll
Apparently,
play
I
Jerry.
can do Valley Girl. Let's go.
I'll also do Mandy with my shit. Oh my God, you guys!
That's literally all you have to do. She has a very nasally voice.
So they have these magnetic boots on that look straight out of Face Off. They can't like walk because
Yes.
the boots are like keeping them on the ground.
They like add gravity or something. It seems like
I can't remember if Alex comes up with the plan or if Sam comes up with the plan.
they
But
kind of both have plans.
Yeah, they come up with a plan and they take the batteries. Yeah, you're right, because it's like
This is-
combos.
Yeah,
like one does it off
Sam
of the
takes
other.
the battery and goes, "Yeah, we can just electrify Clover. That's fine," and just shocks her.
Well, and she does the anime shock pose too, because she goes like, ah, and like her
Right.
like whole body goes like out like a star.
Yes.
But they take that battery off of Clover's outfit to bust the boots, so they like zap the boots from being able to work, so they all are able to get out of that. And then they use Clover's cowboy boots because she has some pins on the back of the boots.
What are those called? The spurs? Is that what it is?
Spurs.
The spurs.
Yes, she's got spurs on the boots. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. I'm a city boy. We don't know no spurs.
Yeah, I'm definitely the country girl. Let's go. I'd be with Billy Bob. Billy Bob wouldn't like me, though.
And then the agents chase the girls. The girls end up going to a weapons lab.
Yes.
Part of the show, as Rachel said, is always that, like, on the mission, they, like, get all these, like, gadgets.
Oh, yeah. The
So this
gadgets
is
was always the
gadget
fun
scene.
part. I always liked seeing what gadgets they were going to get. That was fun.
And they were like, grab whatever, like, you think
we
you
could
can
just
help.
use anything. Yeah.
So, according to the Wikipedia page for Totally Spies, they take a bolus gun, a cat suit, a compounder.
That's typically what they
the
have.
communicator
they're-
powder. Okay.
Yes, that is typically their... I don't think this is
And
that.
the
That's
hair-
not this episode.
No, but it's what's
But that's
in
a
this
normal
episode.
thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, the hair clip satellite was the one that they took, along with the laser earmuffs, the lipstick microphone camera, and I think then the rest, maybe the stick pin homing device. That one might have been one that they took out too. But anyway, they shoot this like gun that like ties. It has like rope in it. It's like one of those like tie
It's
up.
got like the two balls on
ropes.
the end, and it kind of like whoosh, swings
Yeah.
around them and ties them up.
Need to bring that back into
That
pop
seems
culture.
cool. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a fun out of left field thing to happen.
It's
just get
great.
caught up in the net.
Because I could actually imagine seeing like that actually function. Like, oh god,
Yeah.
I'm trapped in this now.
They run to a helicopter pad. They get into this very pink, large helicopter and take
It's
off.
ostentatious as can be. It has to be for them though, because like
It feels like it's that's the girls' helicopter.
yes, because Jerry's
there's nothing
is
but
gray.
men in black.
Right.
Jerry grabs the helicopter and tries to hang on as they bust through this Willy Wonka-esque ceiling, and then I thought at first they were gonna like take Jerry with them and like explain to Jerry that they weren't really
And then now
fugitives,
Jerry's also on the run.
and now
with
Jerry's
them.
also on the run.
Could have been interesting.
No. He instead climbs into the helicopter and is going to implant Clover's head for a second, but Alex tilts the helicopter
Yes.
to its side, and Jerry falls out.
To his death. Actually, he lands on the chair that they were trying to put them in.
And then the girls exit via the X-Men Blackbird tunnel from that cartoon, a very spy-esque tunnel. Mm-hmm. Jerry's a bit deranged in this episode.
Just a
compared
little.
to what I saw.
My only thought is that he's having flashbacks to somebody else that did this, and that they tried to kill him and like destroy
Right.
Whoop or something. So he's just like, "It's happening again! It's happening again!" And then he flips
It's happening
out.
again. Yeah, that would be it. That's a what I like
And
the
I
headcanon
bet,
on there.
I
Rachel.
bet there's an episode about it later on.
All right. There are 182 episodes and counting of this show, so it's
Exactly.
very possible. They crash land into a warehouse to hide. It's a fish factory, so it stinks. And they have this mini satellite that they think they can hack into the Whoop satellite and look at the satellite footage that
Right.
Jerry was showing them. And they zoom in on the footage and they see that Clover, this Clover imposter, had a piece of clothing shredded on a cactus because they were in Phoenix. So they devise a plan to get in, and I don't know where they get these costumes, but
Well,
I
I
guess
would
they are
assume-
masters of disguise.
Sure. Maybe they just grabbed
They're
them from
terrible
somewhere.
at pretending
they're
to be other
horrible.
people.
All I said was, why did you all three have to go in? You could have just had either one or two people go in, because then that's a little less, conspicuous. Or have you kind of like split off in the bank,
Or
to,
not
like,
have
cause a
matching
distraction?
outfits that's like
Yes.
a part of like it's a bank. You can just log into
Yeah,
a
I don't
bank.
think you have. Yeah, it's just a bank.
But they're dressed as a millionaire couple.
And their driver.
Sam and Clover are dressed
Yes.
as like a millionaire couple, and then Alex is dressed as their driver. And Alex is looking at the cactus trying to find like this piece of material that fell off, while the other two are distracting the bank manager, which again, I don't think they had to do this. And you would think that being spies, they'd be better at this, but they're so terrible. Like Sam's like, "Oh yes, me and my wife here, we're coming in to give you our bonds and whatnot."
Yes, they're like, oh, we just wanted to see if you were like good enough to have our money. She was even doing like the voice.
They moved from Scandinavia, they tell
Yes.
the bank manager.
That's right.
Which I think is one of the countries in Spy Family. I think was
You know what?
Scandinavia.
I wouldn't put it past them. That could absolutely be called one of their places.
Alex does find it and exclaims that she found it. They do a decent job of covering. They're like, "Oh no, we had dropped our keys when we walked in." So that would have been just a fine.
That's fine, but I would have been like, "Oh, if Clover would just take off one of her earrings and be like, "Oh, she just found my earring," and then just like put it back on."
Also would have worked, but they're somehow terrible at spy. You know what? Here's the thing.
They really are. They're really bad. It's kind of funny.
They're actually
We're
kind
gonna
of
rank
awful
all of
at
our
spying.
spies at the end of this, by the way.
Most of the time, from the 3 episodes that I've watched, they never are really spying. Like
No.
they're always found out almost immediately.
Yes. And then they accidentally get themselves out of it. Like it's typically
Or outsmart them to get out of it. Like one or the other.
There's always some weird shenanigans going on.
It kind of goes back to my, like, how girl power is it real? Like, it's girl power, but then at the same time, it's like, because they're so girly that sometimes they just kind of... It's like having 3 Ron Stoppables.
It is. It really is.
Sam's mustache falls off, and the jig is up, but they're already gone, because they are recognized as being the robbers.
Yes.
Back at their hideout factory, they use Alex's It Follows clamshell that also doubles as a... You remember the It Follows clamshell?
No.
It was almost like a phone, but it was like,
Oh.
or like a Kindle, but it was like a clamshell, like this kind of makeup powder thing.
Okay.
That's on the list. We'll do It Follows one day. There's plenty of jokes that can be made at
Of course there are.
Vivian Follows. They scan it, which is to find out that it's basically flesh, which I could have told them, like, it looks like flesh colored.
You don't know. Maybe they were
when
wearing
it's
a
on the
flesh-colored outfit underneath the red because it was bright red. Like
a good line though, where they say like, who would wear something that's
made out of flesh,
made out of flesh
Yeah.
in that kind of climate? It wouldn't breathe well in warm weather.
Why would someone wear a shirt made out of flesh? I can't imagine that would breathe very well in warm weather.
That's the first problem.
That's the
course.
takeaway. Yeah. Nobody wears flesh like a skin suit. That's just silly. It's too warm there.
So, I could tell you one person that would wear a skin suit. That was too much Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Just a little bit. I was also thinking of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, I'm gonna find all those spies make my skin suit. I have an order
You put
in
the lotion
for some
on
of
the
those
skin.
clones.
I make them put on lotions.
All
keep
you
them
have
soft.
to do is rub up against a cactus.
Anyway, it has a trademark on it, which I think is kind of funny as well. I think they could have withgone from the skin ripping off, although it's supposed to be like a clue that something's wrong.
Yeah.
Versus, like, the shirt could have also had the trademark on it if
sure.
they zoomed in on it.
Right.
And why would you put a trademark on your clothes?
Because that's how that guy is. I think that's just how that guy is.
Macker the safe cracker.
But I feel like that guy would be like that. You can kind of get that from how he is. Like, he's very, like, ostentatious. Like, instead of being subtle. When we get to his plan doesn't make any sense.
His plan makes absolutely no sense.
So it's just one of those things.
They head to Replatech, which is the name of the company, which should be another clue there that they're replicating.
Replatech.
Yeah.
Replications, if you didn't
And then
get
I
it.
do also enjoy the moment of them just chilling, driving there. They're just like in this helicopter. They're like filing
Doing
their nails and
just
shit.
hanging
Yeah.
out. And...
The company is on a private island, which should be kind of a giveaway.
Again, super villain-esque, private islands.
Yes. Bond-esque type
Right.
thing.
Dr.
There's
No,
a force...
I'm looking at you,
Yes.
weirdo.
Fucking weirdo. There's a force field, but birds can get through it, so they determine that only metal can't get through it, which means that one of them is going to have to be able to get through it. So that, as you
And
said,
of
Rachel,
course,
they volunteer Alex.
it's gonna be Alex.
So why do I always... She breaks the fourth wall, I think.
She does this
She
all the
looks directly
time.
at us and goes, why do I always have to do that? That did
That's a huge trope.
feel very Velma-esque, that she...
Yeah.
My glasses.
Almost.
When she was doing that. This show, I can't remember, because I watched these a little while ago.
Yeah.
This show moves at particularly this episode, and I can't remember the first two, a rapid fucking pace.
Oh, they're all very quick.
You cannot There is no
away.
room to breathe.
Nope.
There is so much shit happening. It's a longer segment of Shelf Life for us because the plot is so fucking dense to get through.
They are shoving as much as humanly possible into 20 minutes.
Just a ridiculous pace, which has to kind of be a kids thing.
I wouldn't think so.
I'm a little surprised, though, that like for a show primarily for girls, but then boys actually ended up liking it.
Oh, sure, because it's just
even
spies.
playing because it's action and it's spies, but maybe because it is that action, they were like their goal was action. Alex gets grabbed because it looks like she goes inside this like room and she sees what are very obviously clones being farmed.
Yes, little like clone babies all hooked up and inside of like they're floating in the tank.
It's a good
expected. This is what you know. This is what you know is a thing.
Yeah, it's what you know. Yeah, pop culture clones.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good design and image though because it is weird. It's gross seeing them like the big like human fetuses look like aliens.
Oh yeah.
And they pull her up, but they're getting shot at the same time. So now Alex is just hanging from this string as they are like flying around with this helicopter trying to not get shot down by other helicopters.
Yep.
And it gets cut, so she starts falling. They change it because why didn't they do this
earlier?
A long time ago.
Yeah.
But they change it from a helicopter to jet and are able to get under Alex and grab her.
I feel
and
like
they
could fly
it
better as the jet too. They're just like, yeah, we know.
I
know how to fly a jet. I don't know how to fly a helicopter. I forgot this thing turns into that.
Oh, this is a jet too. I forgot, you guys. Well, doesn't Sam like drive it here too because of Alex is crashing the helicopter?
Right.
So she's like, I'll drive.
Right.
One of the enemy helicopters gets a tracker on them though as they get away. That never comes back.
It kind of yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes. I'll tell you why.
Because Whoop ends up finding them, and I was like, but those weren't Whoop helicopters.
But wouldn't that have been like a fun... It would have been a fun twist if it was Whoop. If they like also worked with Whoop or something. But that's how they got Clover. Remember they grab her in the van?
Okay, yes.
So they were also
they
there.
So
they also found them. So they both like converged all at this factory.
Got it. Alex got a fingernail on her boot. So they can take a look at what this fingernail is made out of. They check it.
Again,
and
it's
it is
also
the same
human.
substance as the skin. And it has Clover's DNA. Clover clone was really fucking up all over the place.
Apparently. Like
and
the
Clover...
skin, the nail, the wrong color. I would never be caught
Clover
dead
is
in seafoam green.
Offended. She that tacky, cheesy fucking color.
Okay, no way. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing that cheesy seafoam nail polish.
Seafoam green. That's for poor people.
I feel like she would say that, and then the next episode she'd be like head to toe
She'd
in
have
seafoam
seafoam
green
green.
because it's now in. Because it's like one of those fashion things.
That, or she like saw the clone with it. And she's like, I kind of like it
Actually,
on me.
it looks really good with my color, and then just wears it anyways.
I was waiting for one of them to say something about how either that the clone was wearing something tacky, but it was the same outfit that he always wear,
right?
Or like, oh, like I kind of like the way that my clone does her hair.
Is that what
or
my hair
something
looks like
that.
from the back?
Yes, do the Hermione Granger.
That's
line.
what it feels like.
We see some mysterious Taskmaster-looking motherfucker that says that the spies are onto me because the clones have found him. Looks like Taskmaster. We don't know what his face looks like yet.
Right.
Whoop finds our girls, and brings an army to stop them because of one robbery. All speaks to
one robbery, and then I guess them escaping.
Well, I guess so. We gotta keep these women down. These women got out of fucking line.
That's right.
We're gonna keep them down
Forcefully.
That's right. Men. We're gonna tie them up and draw them very seductively. That's what we're gonna do.
Stop it.
Wouldn't it be great if we put these chicks in a very passive...
We're not doing this.
They're going to do everything that
This is a Saturday morning shelf life. You're not allowed to do this.
The chase is on and the girls try to get away. Clover hides by a van. And the van pulls her in. She gets kidnapped. Alex and Sam meet up with a Clover who is anime glitching like crazy. She's like,
yes.
She's, glitching out in the middle of her sentences, but tells the other two that they need to go to Replicatech. Or the
I can
girls,
get
Alex
into
and Sam, are like, we need to
Replitech.
go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get you into Replitech.
I mean, I have an
know a
idea.
secret
I
way
saw a
in."
secret way. And then Sam and them were like, all right, the hell?
Yeah. And so like, all right, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, but we'll just kind of go with it. They slip past the agents and steal Jerry's jet.
Yep.
Somehow.
Yes, because they're spies.
No
Kevin.
ability to do that.
You finally get them to be sneaky and spy-y, and you're just like, they could never.
Well, if Jerry wouldn't have turned around and been like, "Where's my plane?
Where's my super suit?" What do you say?
Where the hell is my grilled cheese?" If he would have turned around and the plane were taking off.
Yes. But
All
it was
right,
already
that's
gone.
fine.
It was already gone.
Gone.
Poof.
Clover has the cheesy green nail polish on, which was a good touch.
It
was a
was.
nice touch that they show you with she has the seafoam green.
Right.
And a chipped nail.
Yes.
So that should be your clue. Or the girl's clue.
And at
They go
this
through
point, I would have thought, oh, okay, they're on to her. They're kind of like, one, they did the shifty eyes to each other. Now Alex is like, you chipped a nail. It's also that ugly seafoam green color that you said you hated. Confused.
Well, and the Clover starts glitching out because she's like, what do you mean? I love seafoam green foam, sea, love.
And she's like,
and
calm
I love
down,
that.
I get
I was
it.
like, all right, calm the fuck down. Oh, fucking crazy bitch.
I get it. I love seafoam green too, okay? God. If you're just embarrassed about it.
The villain reveals himself, and he looks like a character from G.I. Joe.
Like half android at this
Cyborg
point. Yeah,
guy.
there we go. Now they're surrounded by the tanks of them
Oh,
clones,
yes.
right? And
Okay.
then all
I
of
got
the
it, I got
other
it.
clones converge on them, and then they kind of like tie it back to the beginning where Clover was just like, she stole my look, right? And they're like, we were hoping that was the only thing that was going to, like, that was the biggest steal that we were going to get today, and it was, they stole their
Yeah,
entire
so she says,
look.
like, and to think that Clover was upset Mandy stole her look.
Yes.
There's like dozens of clones of them that's surrounding them. And we get the backstory on the villain, because the villains, I think, in this always do
they gotta do
a
their
parlor
monologue.
scene.
They're gotta
Yeah,
do
they
their
gotta get the
monologue and
monologue
tell
in.
you everything.
Macker, the safecracker, who in a previous unseen
Episode.
mission was hanging from a ledge, and the girls couldn't pull him up. He fell, but
Yeah,
as he fell, he ripped
their hair out.
and he fell, I assume, in some sort of vat of chemicals, or just the fall itself.
Destroyed half of his body. Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel, who repaired this man?
It's a
Do we
good
ever
question.
find that out? Is there
I
ever
don't
like
know.
a Spectre?
I kind of wish
type
there was.
agency?
Yeah, right, that would be great. I don't. There might be. I think there might be an anti-whoop kind of agency that's going on. But
I would love if it was just called anti-whoop.
It's poof or something instead. It's just the opposite. It's poo. But maybe he has a sidekick, and that sidekick is just like cowering in a corner, trying to like hide away so that they can get away, and then come after the girls later on because they're actually the mastermind. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
also,
if that's
he's
actually
a safecracker, but he was able to clone the girls from
Right?
their DNA and their hair.
Yeah.
So that
He's
seems
obviously into
a little overpowered
robotics
as well.
and biology, and
Mhm.
he's dressed
So
up
he's-
in shredder garb. Like, it's very odd. Maybe he's just
He's
friends
gone
with the
extra
alien guy. What's his
crazy.
name? The brain.
Crane?
Yeah, maybe he's friends with Crane.
Oh, if this thing with the shredder doesn't work out, I have a cyborg safecracker on the West Coast. I have a lot of stock in Replitech. That's where I'm
what it
funding
is.
the shredder.
There it is.
His plan
Yes. Let's talk about this.
all right. It's really
convoluted,
fucking
awful
stupid.
plan.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. His plan is that he's going to send out the clones of the girls to the central bank of every country. Which, by the way, I think the central bank is not a physical place. There are Federal Reserves across the United States, but I don't know if there's like a literal bank, like a fucking Gringotts bank that you would be able to do this in. But regardless, so he's gonna steal the central bank of every country at the same time.
All at the same time. All at the same time.
And the girls will be blamed.
No.
Now,
They can't.
problem one of this, of course, is that the girls are not. They don't have a fucking time turner.
They don't have a time
or
turner. They don't have
ability.
a TARDIS. We don't have any of these abilities.
So how Whoop wouldn't put a semblance of rationality together to say the girls could not have robbed all of these banks?
I mean, I guess at this
that's
point,
problem one.
If the girls were already lobotomized, they'd be going, oops. But at the same time...
Problem two, if this was his original plan, the girls were already going to be lobotomized.
Right.
So how was he going to blame the girls? So maybe this was a backup plan, and he was like, it doesn't really make any sense. Fuck it. I'm out for revenge anyway.
Just do it anyways. Yeah, maybe he had it planned to have them, like, timed apart.
This
but then
idea
he's like,
is
oh,
very
crap,
stupid.
They already got found out, so he's like, well, I can't time them apart anymore. Just go out at the same time. Everybody at the same time. Go, go, go.
Problem number 3.
Uh-oh.
Your name is Macker the Safecracker.
That's right.
Which implies that you know how to crack safes.
Yes.
So you could have either taught all of the clones to do this.
Right?
Maybe he's been robbing banks with the clones for a while because you also have a registered company called Replitech
yes.
that you could just be making money off of and not having to rob any of these banks. So this has to just purely be out of revenge.
I don't understand.
It is a very Dr. No-esque
is.
plan,
yes.
I guess, in the end. He sends the girls off as he heads to his command center in the Alps. Why he has to say that to the girls to let them know where they have to go.
He's totally showing off. He's totally showing off. He's like, yeah, I have a house in the Alps.
My main command center is in the Alps, but you'll never get to go there.
My God, he's like turning into Skeletor.
They throw the girls in a cell with the real Clover so they get reunited. And they just do the exact same trick again with Clover's boot. This is where you get the feet, the little twinkle toes. If you were...
It wasn't even twinkle toes. It's literally, they took her boot off and she falls down. There were no twinkle toes. There were no twinkle toes.
I'm just telling
People
you.
People are perverts.
Like...
Perverts! This is for kids! Let them have their fun!
And
perverts.
Kids at heart.
Well, yeah, obviously.
They head to the Alps, and they realize that there's a transmitter that's controlling all of the clones. So the girls... Because I guess this was a thing you had to do in early aughts spy shit for girls, snowboard down a mountain. Because that's just spy stuff demands it. You have to snowboard down a fucking mountain at some point on your show.
Sure. Why not?
They find some of the clones and they tell the clones, you have our looks, but do you have our moves? So then they like board down the mountain, avoiding these laser blasts. All the clones fall off of a cliff, but the girls avoid it. As Whoop shows up. And in the meantime, Alex gets to...
I mean, they're like stormtroopers from Star Wars, all right? They're all idiots. They can't...
So.
They have the worst aim, and they're all just kind of like, oops, and then they fall off the cliff like a lemming, all right? I don't know what you want from me.
I'm just saying, like, they just murdered themselves times like
they're
12.
Clones. They don't count.
That's also true. Clones don't count. For people in the future, when the clones exist, they don't count.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want to them.
No.
They don't matter.
No.
Alex gets to the lair, runs into a clone of herself, and she does this, like, crane fighting
she's like
stance
about
thing.
to, like, do something, and then...
But then a pile of snow falls on the Alex clone?
Yeah. And she's like, all right, looks away.
Okay, I'll move on. She messes with the transmitter, and Macker grabs Alex because he's pissed because it stopped all the clone girls from going into the banks and robbing them. So now he is falling down the mountain with Macker, and like Alex is with Macker because he like grabbed her and they like started tumbling down. Macker falls off a cliff.
Yes.
So that's the end of that. A helicopter has grabbed all the clones in a net.
Yes.
Along with Macker, I assume.
Yeah, his leg was there.
Dead.
It was at least his android or his cyborg side. So he's
it.
either cut in half or the whole body is in there. Yeah.
I wouldn't trust Whoop with all these clones.
I also would not either. No. I really would not.
I don't think that they're incinerating all these clones.
It's
I
now
think
being
that
a
they're
little
using them
creepy
as
and scary.
backups.
Yeah. Now we will never know if they're a clone or not. Did they die on one of their missions? Did they just replace them with a clone? We have no idea anymore.
This Clever's a little weird. She keeps glitching out. I guess that would be the difference, right? Like, it feels like the clone rules that these things go by is that they live for like 48 hours. And they
I was gonna
disintegrate
say
to
maybe
dust.
they have like a Half-Life thing or something.
Jerry gets out of the helicopter and the girls throw snowballs at him and they're like, "Fuck you, Jerry, you prick! You're gonna lobotomize us." And I'm like, "Yeah, the girls have a point. Fuck you, Jerry."
Yes.
Oh, I guess we're lucky you figured it out before you gave us lobotomies.
I hope you girls will accept my sincerest apology.
Apology? You'll be collecting your pension by the time you're done making this up to us.
And Jerry looks like he's
He already
pretty close
is.
to retirement anyway. So it's not that. It's kind of a mild threat.
Yeah, well, we don't know. Maybe he has that weird, like, old times. He actually is only in his 30s, but he looks like he's 70.
Yeah, he's a James Bond-esque. Yeah,
Yes.
like he looked 50 when he was 30.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back at school, Clover is trying to get Billy Bob again. She's hanging up a pamphlet that says like Mandy's a thief
Yes.
on like the school wall. She's in pigtails with a cowgirl outfit or a cowgirl like suit on this time, so it's a little more reasonable. She got the idea though. Alex and Sam confront her with conforming teen magazine.
That's right. That's right.
So, that's the most
I thought it was
that
funny.
I've seen the show get tongue-in-cheek.
That is probably as much
I
as
think
they
the whole
will do
show is tongue-in-cheek, but
Absolutely,
the Frenchiness
100%.
of it makes it a little harder to discern my American brain.
The whole show is tongue-in-cheek, but there's just
But that was
those little there's
explicitly
those little things that happen either in the background or stuff like that that will pop out like this.
But then she sees Mandy wearing the exact... Because she's like, oh, I guess I can't call Mandy a thief. That was, like, mean. But then Mandy walks by wearing the exact same outfit, so she, like, has a fucking blow-up again. And she's like, you fucking whore wearing your stupid outfit. So... Billy comes by, but he's with this, like, futuristic-looking girl.
Like from Xenon, in the 21st century, or whatever the hell her name was. Like, that one.
Yeah.
Do you get that, Kevin? Do you understand that reference to Xenon?
I remember Xenon.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like that one as much as Phil of the Future, but that was just my preference.
Yes, I
Billy
remember.
says that I didn't really like that cowgirl look. That's why I left. So he's way more into the Valley Girl type thing anyway. So Mandy and
they would have been
Clover were
fine.
barking up the wrong tree.
They would have been fine if they just acted like themselves. The lesson of today. Don't be a
there is
clone.
lesson to be got.
Don't be a
Yeah,
clone.
Don't be a clone.
Act
Be
like yourself.
Clover and Mandy argue in anime as the girls smile behind them.
Also in anime.
And that ends the episode. Rachel, your overall thoughts on episode number 7 of Totally Spies, The Fugitives. Does this episode have shelf life?
Would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first this time?
Oh, well, I mean, I can, since this is my first time seeing this.
Okay.
I can't in good conscience say, like, a singular episode that I just don't know the show
Sure.
of has shelf life. So it's a no for me. But I think in general, I'd probably say it's a no for the show after seeing, like, the first couple of episodes. It's an inoffensive show. I can see it being this, like, cute, fun little show.
Yeah.
If I had nostalgia for it, I'd probably be like, yeah, there's episodes that totally go on the shelf. That pun was intended. Spoiler alert for the next subject that we come back from after the break. It's the worst of the 3 that we watched, but it's still fine. It's still okay. It's an okay little show. If there's suggestions for this one, we could definitely give them shots.
Oh,
and
sure.
there very well could be some episodes in this where I would say that one was pretty good. It's very action-packed. It's very colorful. I like the tongue and cheekness of it, although I kind of wish that there was more of
it.
Yeah.
If they leaned heavier on
to-
it, I think that would have made it better.
Yeah, just to distinguish it. I think if that was in there, I would feel a lot about this that I feel about what we'll talk about with Kim Possible. Because that one does more clever stuff than this one. This one seems to be more like, not that they're selling toys, but in that same vein of a Power Rangers, of a Transformers, where it's about the action, it's about the fast-pacedness. We know the same thing happens every single time, but that's what is comforting about it. So it's more like a comfort food type of show.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no, but I will say we can take suggestions on it. It's not on the shelf for me, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a harmless, fun show.
No, I agree. I think it's a very fun and vibrant like show, and of course I have nostalgia for it because I did watch it as a kid, and I would say it's probably way more for kids because of how like it is structured and everything.
More
because,
for kids, you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's like, yes, it's like the kid at heart thing
Then
again.
Spy X Family, yes. But.
Yes, but my point is, if it was more tongue-in-cheek, if it had more of that cleverness to it, then it could actually continue to span while you're getting older. I might just leave it back in the past and nostalgia land for me, because that was just like that was like what you're saying. It was like a comfort show when I would come back from school. I would watch it all the time. I always like to see what gadgets and like, oh, what are they going to get up to this time? It was just kind of like something silly to have on. So I don't think I'm going to put it on the shelf with this one. I think it's fun. I think if you like that like girl power silliness, I think it would be really cute for, little girls to watch or whatever. But I don't think it's like shelf worthy.
Okay. That's interesting though. When we've done some of these episodes, like Turtles, for instance, I thought that the only way that Ninja Turtles would ever make it on either of our shelves was pure nostalgia. Then we watched it and we were like, they actually do a pretty good job of like establishing the Ninja Turtles. Like, it's goofy and stupid and shit, but you could see yourself going back to it and wanting to have like it there for you to watch it whenever. Compared to this, where it's like, it's not a nostalgia buster. It's not like, oh, this was terrible.
Oh no, I wouldn't go that far. Absolutely not.
It was fine.
Mm-hmm. It's just kind of fun.
It's like this fun throwaway kind of thing. All of the episodes, I think, are on YouTube. So you literally can watch it whenever you would feel like it. And as like a background de-stressor, I think it's fine. But yeah, not on the shelf. So that was Totally Spies, boys and girls. If people really are like, no, those weren't the best episodes, you have to watch this one and this one. Or if there's something completely off the wall, because I could see this show getting fucking crazy.
I think it does.
We could definitely cover that.
Yeah, it could be kind of fun to go back and just see some of them.
But coming up next, boys and girls, we head into the last subject of Spy Summer Saturday Morning Shelf Life. Call her. Beep her. If you want to reach her. Kim Possible. After a quick word from our fake sponsors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Spy Tech, Case 207. Outside forces are moving into your sector. You and your partner use the Spy Tech communicators to maintain radio contact.
Moving heavy equipment.
With the Spy Tech periscope, you've got your eye on the situation.
I'm going in.
You go deep undercover to get it on film. With the Spy Tech hidden camera, it takes pictures around corners.
Let's look around. They have Spy Tech.
They on to us? Spy Tech, high-tech equipment that works. Each sold separately, new from Tyco.
We're back with more Kim Possible on ABC Kids.
Saturday morning, Shelf Life.
We're back, boys and girls, with the finale of the Summer of Spies Saturday Morning Shelf Life edition. Not the actual Summer of Spies. We've just begun on the Summer of Spies. I should be clear about that.
Yes.
So, our final subject today on Saturday Morning Shelf Life, Rachel, what is up for contention to the shelf?
Kim Possible.
It is the of these three. Spy Family is too new to be called like a beloved classic. But Kim Possible is the one that when you said like we need to do Spies for the Saturday Morning Shelf Life, it was like, well, Kim Possible, like,
right? That was just the obvious.
Well, because it's so well known for our generation.
Yeah.
Even though I will admit that I never watched it a lot. I really don't think I watched it much at all. It's just like it was one of those pop culture osmosis Kim Possible exists.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed that I knew everything I know about Kim Possible is because of you.
Probably.
Were you a Kim Possible fan?
Yes, I watched all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would watch Kim Possible all the time. So it probably was my fault. If you didn't watch it and you knew everything about Kim Possible, I would assume.
I think even just watching anything on the Disney Channel, it was super pushed in 2002.
Sure.
So even if you were watching anything, you would get these behind the scenes of like Christy Carlson Romano and Will Friedle and all of them doing the voices. Like
they did that all the time with everything.
Yeah,
but yeah, especially with
like
this.
I can visualize more the marketing material for Kim Possible is coming more than actually the show. Nowadays, I know Shigo more than Draken because women, in particular, will cosplay
you gotta dress
together.
Up as Shigo, she's fantastic.
Well, but because women will cosplay as Kim and Shigo all the time, like
that
and do
makes
like
a lot
collab.
Of sense. Sure.
Like when you said, well, you find like one with like Shigo and Draken, I was like, well, I know Shigo. I don't know who the fuck Draken is. Although I did, so for this Saturday Morning Shelf Life, we were doing the first episode of Kim Possible because you get the idea from the jump on what Kim Possible is. It gives it to you very, very well. I did though watch all the first 3 episodes of Kim Possible. They did a Shelf Life. Disney Channel did. They debuted the first 3 episodes back to back to back, all on June 7th, 2002. The second one was Ron gets a haircut.
Yes.
And becomes pompous about it.
And we had the junior. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Hold
yes.
on. It was...
No, it was
senior,
junior.
God damn it, I suck at it. I was doing this when I was trying to say it before. Senior, and senior, junior. Yes.
I did like in that one how they create a supervillain.
Yes, because Ron's just like, wow, you could
the...
really make this into a...
Yeah.
into a hideout. This is great.
Because he's like a billionaire who...
He doesn't know what
didn't
to do with his
realize
money.
that he was causing blackouts.
Yeah,
and he was going to just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry,"
yeah.
but then he's like, "Well, I'm kind of bored, so
that
like I
sounds
figured
fun.
I would just
we could do that." Yeah.
And then the third episode is they're at Camp
Wannaweep.
I can't remember the name. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I like the Camp Wannaweep episode.
Yeah,
with
the Gill man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Ron has to save all the cheerleading team. I thought he was going to get some at the end of that episode.
That blondie
blonde
is so
girl...
into him. Yeah. She was so into him. Can you tell I also watched all these episodes? Because I was like, well, I can't just watch one.
Did she ever hook up with Ron, that blonde cheerleader?
I doubt it.
Even Bonnie has to admit that he saved the day in that one.
Right.
Those are pretty good. But this first one, I was like, let's start from the top. It's got Draken, it's got Shigo, it's got Wade. It does have their high school teacher in it, though, played by David Putty.
Yes.
His name.
Oh, I love the coach. He's so great. What is his name now? It's Stephen Barkin.
No, is that it?
Yes.
I don't think that's his name. Hang on, I gotta look.
Okay, fine. But it is. It's Barkin, but okay.
It's Patrick Warburton. Oh, he's playing... The character's name is Steve Barkin.
Yeah, what did you
Patrick
think?
Warburton... Okay, I thought you were saying that the voice actor was Steve Barkin.
No, I thought you wanted the character's name. No, it's Kronk, it's Putty, it's... What's his name?
Yeah,
Say
the
his
Tick.
name now.
I truly thought that you were doing that because I was like, no, it's Patrick Warburton. Oh. So I was like, is there a guy that sounds just like him out there?
It would be amazing.
So Kim Possible, Rachel, what is the premise of Kim Possible?
Kim Possible.
Real name.
That is her real name.
It's her government name.
Kimberly Possible.
Kimberly Ann Possible.
That's also true,
I got that
yes.
off of her wiki.
She pretty much fights crime and saves the day all the time. So people will call on her to help them, solve something. And it could be as little as, I need help with, my cat got into a tree, to come here and save the world because Draken is doing some shenanigans. It's a lot of stuff.
Does she work for a spy agency like Twilight and the Totally Girls?
No. And there is a thing that comes up later at one of the episodes where it's because lines get crossed. It's kind of the reason why she is who she is. because there is a superhero crime fighting group that is like the Possibles or whatever they're called, literally gets like the lines crossed and they call Kim Possible instead of the group, and that's why she becomes, Kim Possible. Shigo was a part of them. It's a whole thing. But she doesn't work for them. Yeah. She doesn't work for them. So she is just kind of her own person because she made like her own website. She has her own Kim Possible. She can do anything.
She's independent. She's an entrepreneur.
She's independent.
She's a freelancer.
Yes.
I know that they remade it, and I kind of wonder if the way that they remade it, like she's got Instagram and
they remade this now too.
They remade Kim Possible.
You're kidding.
Yeah. No, they did a live action Kim Possible.
Oh, the live action. Oh yeah, sure.
5 or 6 years ago. They didn't redo the
okay
cartoon. But the live action,
I never
if they
watched
redid
it.
it today,
I don't think I could.
I could see that.
I don't think I could watch that.
It
probably would be really like modern and disappointing and just sad. No offense to the actors, but you probably just did not do justice for the characters.
The show was conceived by Bob Shuley and Mark McCorkle. They had done some stuff for Disney Channel before, but they, just like Totally Spies, they're like, there's not like a female, like a girl, we're missing the girl market for like action stuff. So just like Totally Spies. But they developed this in mind thinking that they could get younger kids and older kids if they did the tongue-in-cheek, put stuff on the sleeve, that kind of stuff. They could get older kids to watch it too. That's why this show, compared to Totally Spies, has more clever humor.
I would say so. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go with it.
It's not as mature as Spy Family, of course. Of course. Like, there's no blood and
there's no, like,
and stuff.
Gore. At least not on screen.
But there's self-referential humor in it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes it different than a lot of the other Disney stuff from the time, too, is because they're very aware of what they're making, and they're trying to make something that... This is a shelf life test show, where it's like, if you're a young kid watching it, like Rachel was, if she goes back 20 years from now and watches it, is she going to be like, oh, totally frank off the bat, because I didn't remember a lot about Kim Possible, I texted Rachel after watching the first episode, and I was like, I do not remember this show being this clever. Like, it has a lot of cleverness to it.
Right.
But they wanted it to be this, like, fast-paced dialogue, fast-paced action, very much like Totally Spies.
Again, high schoolers, too. Yeah. This is always, like, the high school level of age, I guess, would be, like, for the main characters. They're all high schoolers.
Yeah, they're in high school. Middletown, I think, is the city. Yeah. They wanted to make a superhero that had no superpowers. Her superpower is, like, just being herself, and she's still able to do all of this stuff. Although, in reality, she'd have been murdered, like, 12 times
probably
these 3 episodes alone. With her friend, Ron Stoppable.
That's his name.
Kind of like that. I kind of like that. And I get the idea, and I think it was like a girl power thing where it's like she's the one that can do everything. The boy is the doofus.
Yes.
He's the fucking moron. They even say like they were in the elevator trying to come up with like the pitch, and it's like Kim Stoppable, she can do anything. Ron Stoppable, he can't.
Dorky sidekick, a little bit of clumsier.
Christy Carlson Romano is the voice of Kim Possible. It's indistinguishable Kim Possible voice. Christy Carlson Romano from Even Stevens on the Disney Channel, but it's a good voice.
Yeah, I think
like,
it
it's
really
a good
works
voice
for
for
her.
Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Ron Stoppable is played by Eric Matthews himself, Will Friedle, who's
also kind of perfect. Like I
also kind of he's actually a pretty good voice actor because he also does Terry on Batman Beyond, so he's actually the future Batman too. But it does make sense, and somehow Will Friedle joins the Two Timers Club in like the weirdest combination.
Oh my God, in the weirdest combination.
But good for him. Oh, I do have to mention, we missed Martin Landau joining the Two Timers Club because he was the right-hand man in North by Northwest.
Okay,
so congratulations. Yes. He also joined very oddly through a Twilight Zone episode and North by Northwest, but whatever.
We love that.
We're gonna have to go to the Three Timers Club. I think we have too many. Of these
I kind of want to. I want a list. I want a list of all the ones that we've had like multiple times on our show here.
So let's get right into
episode 1, season 1, Crush.
According to the Wikipedia, the showrunners were heavily influenced by Marvel Comics, particularly one particular influence is found in Dr. Draken and James Possible's former friendship, whose relationship closely mirrors that of Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards.
All right.
So there you go.
All right. Interesting.
They didn't want to alienate young viewers to whom the show refuses to talk down to, but the writing is a little older than that of traditional Disney animated series. Written by Bob Shuley and Mark McCorkle, directed by Alan M. Bodner, Chris Bailey, and Lisa Schaefer doing the dialogue directing. The first scene shows that it is Spirit Week. There's a Spirit Week dance is happening at the school. Ron,
yes,
who is the doofus, he's dressed like it's 2002. He's actually dressed like Eric Matthews.
He has
layers. An oversized...
He's got the long sleeves on underneath a t-shirt, like that's really baggy, and then he's got the cargo pants going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Damn right.
And then Kim...
He's looking...
Oh, I'm sorry. He's got blonde hair and freckles, big ears.
Yeah.
Ron.
Kim is every girl that was in college in the mid-2000s easy Halloween costume.
Yes.
That if you could get away with wearing a midriff shirt.
Yes, always a midriff. She always is a midriff. She's wearing a green tank.
It's a hot
midriff,
look if you can pull it off.
Baggy blue pants. And she's also a redhead with green eyes, just like Sam from Totally Spies.
Yeah, they're definitely sisters.
It's very interesting that they always make, like, the main character redheaded.
Because it stands out in animation.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's very stupid because there's so few redheads in the world.
Maybe that's
but
why,
there's so
because
many
you're so
in these.
special. Look at, now we're making you special.
Now you're special, you ginger
Everybody
fuck.
always wanted to be a redhead when I was a kid. Everybody wanted to be
Really?
a redhead. Mm-hmm. That was a huge thing. Huge thing. Not
for me.
Not like Ginger of the Night redhead, but like, you know, like hot redhead.
Like the fires of hell.
Well, let's go.
So it's Spirit Week. Ron is looking for Rufus in his messy locker, but he can't find him. And then a bunch of stuff falls out of the locker, and Rufus was in his pocket the entire time.
Because he hangs
Rufus,
out there.
of course.
Rufus, the naked mole rat, adorable Rufus.
How do you think they got away with this in live action? You think it was all CGI? I just hope that it was just a regular naked mole rat.
It had to have been all CGI because it's just kind of like hanging out like, ugh. Otherwise.
I imagine a real life naked mole rat looks like it's dead 24 hours a day.
They are really creepy looking. They are actually very horrifying.
All right. Okay, tablet that was listening to me because I typed in naked mole rat. I typed in naked and mole rat was the first thing that came up. Yeah, these things look disgusting.
It's a little creepy. It's a little creepy.
It looks like a horror movie. Like if you blew this guy up to like 6 feet, he would look terrifying.
It would absolutely work as a horror character. It's kind of adorable, but also horrible. Anyways, Rufus.
Yeah, this thing is disgusting.
He loves cheese. I will always remember that.
If anyone out there, kids at home, if anyone out there made their parents get them a naked mole rat, I don't think you can actually. Like judging by this, it's native to East Africa, and they live in colonies. So there's soldiers and a queen and everything else.
You can
Gross.
have a mole rat as a pet. But there's a lot of considerations, it says. And there's a few different species.
So gross. Anyway, he has gotten the naked mole rat as a pet.
Well, he couldn't get anything else. That's a later episode to understand them.
Kim says, why don't you get a normal pet? And Ron says, Kim insults it. Just flat out insults it. She's just like, why are you walking around with this fucking thing? Even though she loves Rufus too, but... I don't know.
Well, it's the
seemed out of character.
One thing is like, why are you bringing it to school? But
yeah,
but it is not like it is one of those things where it's like, you love Rufus. Shut up, Kim.
We get the motto from Ron though, and I assume he says this multiple times in the series because he goes, "Never be normal." That's the Ron-stoppable motto.
I don't think he ever says that ever again.
Naturally.
I'm trying to think, like, there's what's the sitch, no big, not the drama.
So not the drama.
Right, there's those. But I don't think he ever says never be normal. I think that was just him being silly.
We learned that Kim has the hots for Josh Mankey.
Josh Mankey.
Mankey. Mankey.
Who's got
says Rufus.
Mankey. I think Rufus has to be. He was like grown in a lab because he can talk. Anyways.
Yeah, we're in a world where Rufus can talk. That's
yes, you have to realize that. When I went cheese, that's a Rufus thing. He loves cheese. Should we explain Josh Mankey, who has the bleach blonde tips? Like, he has bleach
he's got
blonde
tips because it's 2002. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how would you describe
Tall,
the
dark, and
animation
handsome.
style of this? Because the first two we watched were anime. How would you describe this one?
I have no idea how you want me to describe this. I don't know how to describe it. It's got that same, it's 2D. The characters don't really have like shadows and shading on them, so they have like that look too.
There's jagged edges like an anime,
Yes.
but the softer Disney tone
It's
to
got
it.
it's got like both happening at the same time.
Yeah.
There's like points and then there's soft, like, you know.
Like today's day and age, I would say like Bluey looks like this, or not Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's too circular. There's certain shows that look like this now.
It looks sketched, but like not sketchy.
Yeah, it looks like sketch. It looks like Matt Groening did it.
Like
but
you were
didn't,
having
like,
fun
not with, like,
making
that roundness.
vectors in something, like you were
Yeah.
drawing. Yeah.
It looks different than I can think of like a classic cartoon having that animation, and maybe that's part of the.
Yeah, I think that would be part of the charm. They have a very similar
Proud
feel,
Family has that,
but they
that
kind
same
of like
look, too.
They move a little smoother. I feel like
Yeah.
with a lot of that, but yeah, same idea.
Josh Mankey though looks like a boy band. I mean, he looks like a
boy
teenager
band
from
member.
2002.
Absolutely,
Looks like a fucking douche teenager from 2002. He's gonna go home. He's gonna watch TRL.
I don't. He seems one of those like he seems a bit more chill than that, but yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, they make him into not a Mary Sue. What's the male equivalent of a Mary Sue?
I have no idea. I don't know what a Mary Sue is.
Oh, it's supposed to be like a character when they are able to do everything. They like have no flaws.
Sure.
That's how they kind
Yeah.
of portray, because he's artistic and he's smart. At least according to Kim, we actually don't know
he's
this,
like
because she's
smooth.
like he's smart and funny and
Yeah,
artistic and charming and
he
hot.
probably has some weird like unicorn. What's the word I want? Like My Little Pony collection at home or something. That's gonna
No,
be my guess.
you know what the thing is? I think that she's just building him up. Like I know this guy, and in
He's
real life,
disappointing.
this guy
He's boring and
doesn't use deodorant or something.
Oh yeah, he's
like
covered
that.
in
He's got
Axe
dirty
body
fingernails.
spray. Mm-hmm.
He's got dirty fingernails. I guarantee it.
Ew,
I don't know
what
that
you
means,
mean
but
by
I
that.
fucking guarantee
No, I
that.
know what you mean by that. Oh, gross high school flashbacks of guys with dirty fingernails. I know what you're talking about.
Just has that look. He has
does.
that look. He has terrible taste in music. He's listening to fucking Pitbull like turned up to 11.
I just imagine she's like bored out of her mind whenever she like if she actually got to go out with him, she'd just be like,
Yes,
Uh-huh.
he'd be a little vapid. Yeah, he'd be a little vapid. Wait, everybody shut the fuck up! The Kim Possible song is starting to play.
Kim
So we got through
Possible.
So the Kim Possible song starts. This theme fucking rocks.
It does.
This theme is amazing.
I was singing this before, like in between, while we were waiting to like start this part of the episode, and I'm like, I remember almost every word.
Rachel, you did it for the first two shows. You want to give us the lyrics to
okay.
"Call Me, Beat Me"?
Oh, you're right. I did do it for all of
Theme
them.
of Kim Possible, performed by Christina Milian, because it is 2002.
Do I have to like? Am I doing this in like spoken word? Because this one.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Oh yeah. I'm your basic average girl, and I'm here to save the world. You can't stop
right there.
me.
She's not average because her mom is a brain surgeon and her dad is a rocket scientist.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah.
anyway,
already
continue.
not average. Already, okay. You can't stop me because I'm Kim Possible. There is nothing I can't do, and when danger calls, just know that I am on my way. Know that
she'll be on her way.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where or when there's trouble. If you just call my name, Kim Possible. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. When you want to page me, it's okay. Does anybody page people anymore?
Yeah, they couldn't get away with that lyric, you know.
Whenever you need me, baby, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. When you want to page me, it's okay. I just can't wait until I hear my cell phone ring. Doesn't matter if it's day or night. Everything's going to be all right. Whenever you need me, baby, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. And then Kim goes, what's the sitch?
Ugh, I don't like when she says, "What's the sitch?"
Oh, but we didn't see this part didn't happen. It doesn't matter where or when there's trouble if you just call my name, Kim Possible. See, this isn't real. This isn't the right one. This isn't it. I know the lyrics. God damn it! Doesn't matter where. I will be there for you till the very end. Danger or trouble, I'm there on the double. You know that you always can call Kim Possible. There you go. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. I got really confused by that. I'm sorry. I apparently I picked up the real song and not like the full thing and not the one for just the lyrics.
If we're judging these based purely on theme songs, Kim Possible is up there.
Kim Possible's definitely up there.
TV show theme songs.
It's really good.
This man's humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to the show. Mackie is hanging up a poster. She walks over to try and flirt, but she's way too smitten to get a word out.
Not Mackie.
What did I say?
Mackie's a different person.
I'm hanging up this poster, okay?
Now we are putting South Park with Kim Possible.
If Kim had a crush on Mr. Mac, oh, Kim, you can't have a crush on me, okay? I'm several years older than you. Or Anthony Mackie. That's the alternative joke.
Which one's
is that
Anthony
it's the Falcon.
Mackie?
The Falcon from Marvel.
Oh,
Anthony
my God.
Mankey. She isn't able to flirt properly, so she's like, and so she's got that going on. We learned that Kim's missions are known because he's like, oh yeah, you're that girl that like saved that senator or something.
Yeah,
right?
so she's a little less of a spy, but she does spy-like things a lot of the time.
She's a spy setup, but she's not a
she's
spy
not really a
because people know who she is.
Yeah, so
she's the Power Ranger problem.
Yes. It's like she's a
her
superhero.
Villains, her heroes, everyone knows who she is.
Power Ranger and a spy, but not really. Yeah.
That's a problem with the characterization. I don't like when, unless you're like a Tony Stark, where you can get away with it because you're a billionaire, you can have security and all this shit. And even he gets the house blown up in 3.
It does happen in this where like they do know who you are, so they will go after you and your school and your family. That does happen.
It's a strange characterization to have like in the background where she's like, I'm just a regular girl, but I'm also a superhero, and like everyone knows it.
Right.
Like she should have fucking men running over each other trying if a superhero existed in the real world,
it's no big.
You would be trying to get with that. I don't care what the gender is.
Doesn't matter. That's the one everybody wants.
I'm trying to think of like the real life equivalent of like an athlete or something like that could be like superhero-esque or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like the equivalent, right? Like the best athlete in the world.
I guess, yeah.
A Taylor Swift-esque popularity here we'd be talking about. Like there's no way in hell.
Mm-hmm. That's probably what it would be.
The whole point is that it's this analogy of like having to deal with high school problems, despite the fact that that you can do everything. So despite the fact that you have the confidence to be able to save the world, doing something as simple as asking this boy out, which I do like the fact that she wants to ask him out. She's not waiting for him to ask her.
Right.
It gives her the agency as well. That's what really scares her.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's also one of those things where it's like, oh, do they really think she's saving the world, or is it... Oh, she has her website because she likes to do babysitting and like odd jobs around town, but they don't realize that it's like, no, she actually does go around and like saves the world.
No, they do. They know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's just like they kind of treat her like she doesn't actually do that part. It is just her doing odd jobs around the town.
Yes, that's the way that they treat it. They treat it like she does babysitting and dog walking and stuff like that. She wants to ask Minky out, but Ron is like, but we always go together to the dances. Right. And Kim is like, but we do that as friends, Ron. I want to kind of go with a date. And Ron's like, oh, well, I guess that means I have to get a date too. I felt I know. Because it's me. Because I'm Ron Stoppable. I was like, oh, poor Ron. Like, you have this, like, friend.
Ron. I always loved Ron.
Like, I get it, Kim. I get it. Your hormones are going crazy for fucking Josh Mankey with his dirty fingernails. You want to go out with him. I'm like... more on Ron because I'm like, oh, poor Ron. Like you always get to go to the dance with this fucking hot superhero,
friend,
and like
yeah.
now you can't because she wants to go out on a real date.
I mean, he's also a superhero. You say
yeah.
it like he's not also
Yeah.
a part of that same team, and he's grown up with her, and he's just like best friends with her. You're like, oh yeah,
He
you always
is.
just get to go with that hot superhero.
I was gonna ask you this, Rachel, and I think I got this spoiler for me as I was looking through things, but I'm still gonna ask you because I kind of don't want this to happen.
Do they? Don't they? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Will they?
Yeah.
Won't they? Yeah, of course.
Do they play Will They Won't They with them?
Yes, of course they do.
I like
yes, and a lot of people love that.
See, I'm on the fence because I kind of like a good platonic relationship.
Oh, I
want that to be
platonic relationships. I want that to be happening way more often. Because it drives me nuts when everybody's like, no, they're so in love. And I'm like, wait, can't they just be friends? For the love of God, we could just have friends in this stupid world.
But the way that
this,
these things...
It's
these
this one
two,
where it's like, oh, but you can't help but want them to be together.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be shipping of these two.
Of course.
She gets the beep from her guy in the chair, Wade.
Do.
Taj Mowry playing Wade.
I love him.
Of
Wade
course.
is fantastic.
Taj Mowry typecasted as smart guy. Do. Smart guy. Smart guy. So, of course, he's the guy in the chair. I read somewhere that he's supposed to be younger than them, that he's like a junior high student.
Yes, he is. Because he's a genius, so he's
okay.
way more mature than his people. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of his age, I guess. Not his people. What do
you mean, you people?
But that's why it works out.
Yeah, his class.
Yeah, his class.
There's a bunch of people that want Kim's help. They turn down watching Cats, so instead that they can go to Tokyo and stop Dr. Draken.
Yeah, that one makes more sense. He goes, yeah, that one's pressing. We have to do that like right now.
Yeah, actually, that one we have to do. I was going to get to that.
But you usually want the full list, so here's the full list first.
I like that Ron says, our archenemy. Well, your archenemy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he really remembers my name. It's such a Will Friedle delivery on that line, the way that he...
But it's so good.
They're like, how are we going to get to Tokyo? And Kim's like, I have an idea. I'll phone a friend.
Which is always what happens in every episode.
I noticed that. I was like, that is something that must happen
all the
constantly.
time. Yep, because she calls in a favor. That's what she does. She always calls in favors.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She calls in a private plane from Britina, and it's 2002. So I'll give you two guesses on who Britina is supposed to be.
My guess is a mixture of Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
You're wrong. It is clearly...
It's definitely mostly Britney Spears, but yeah.
There's a couple of characters that are drawn this way. I don't know why. I don't know what it means. It's like drawing Canadians in South Park.
Oh, the eyes?
They don't have... Yeah, what is with that?
I don't know. I feel like it is
instead
just
of having
side character thing.
Most of these characters have white eyes.
They have full
with
eyes.
Pupils.
Yes.
Yeah. But Britina and a few other characters just have black spots, like Milhouse with his glasses off. And I don't know why.
I think it just has to be like they're not really important, so just give them eyes. It's fine. Okay. It has to be, right?
I want it to be like, it is like oh no, she's Canadian.
She's Canadian.
So she has these squinty eyes.
Yes,
so
that makes more sense. That's
like,
why
it's
their
like
heads
super
fall
racist.
apart from each other when they speak. I get it.
Oh yeah, thank you for saving me for that Chicago show there, Kim. I'll drive you all the way to Tokyo.
It's so not the drama.
They talk about how nothing could make him fearful, but she's like, one thing can. I am afraid of men. Britina is like, just do it. Just ask her out. Ask him out. It's like not that hard. Ron's like, hey, Britina, would you like to go to the... All right,
that would have been great. I wish she would have said yes and gone with
but
him.
she immediately says no. Like,
yes.
he finishes the sentence, and she's like, no. And says it that flatly.
Yes.
Which is really good.
Friday, dance, you, me, average guy.
No.
And then I also love that Ron turns it in like favor, because he like goes to Kim and he's like, see, wasn't that hard. So he's like calling Kim a chicken shit because he's like, look, I just asked Bettina out.
Right. She
Like,
doesn't
you can
want to
ask
be
Josh
told
fucking
no.
Mankey.
Her problem is she doesn't want to be told
afraid of
no.
rejection.
It has nothing to do with actually just doing it. She just thinks she's going to get rejected.
But that's, I think, Ron's point, where it's like, it's that
and Ron
quick.
doesn't
like,
care.
Yeah, no, I'm on Kim's fucking side. I am terrified of rejection.
Sure.
In public, mostly. But, like, you get the idea.
Oh, yeah.
They get to Tokyo. So there's this little Japanese man. He's drawn to be like, he looks.
Are you okay?
I'm trying to think of how to describe him. He looks like Japanese penguin. He looks like Danny DeVito
he does kind
if
of
he
look
were
like
Japanese.
like he does. He does. You're right. That's
and then
so
standing
true.
next to him, because it is a Japanese stereotype, she has the hot, tall translator that is also Japanese.
Right.
Straight out of a Seinfeld show. They just got done getting rid of an assassin named Thorn Princess from the fucking factory, and now they've got to deal with this bullshit, this fucking blue-faced motherfucker. The translator is trying to tell Kim what's going on, and Ron is like, hey, Miss Translator girl, would you like to go out with me to the school dance? And she thinks that Ron is asking out the owner of the factory. Oh. So she asks the owner, and she comes back and she's like, oh, he doesn't think that it would be appropriate.
Yes.
Nagasumi-san. So she doesn't think that it would be appropriate. That's pretty good.
Flattered,
that's a good joke.
But given the current crisis,
yeah,
he lets him down easy. He was being really nice about it, you know. He also does shifty eyes, which is kind of funny. Like, I can't believe this kid just asked me out. He also does what? He's like shifty eyes. Like, I don't know if this kid really meant to ask me out or what's going on here.
Yeah, that's the humor. That's where I was like, this and the konnichiwa joke. That's when I was like, this show is actually pretty funny. So they're like, how many hostages? The translator goes 2. And Kim goes 2,000.
Oh, just 2? No. She was like just 2.
I thought that she says like 2,000.
Oh.
Like.
Yes,
like,
no, she goes. Oh, she goes like 200. I think is what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And the factory or the translator goes, no,
just
2. This is the most automated factory in the world. Again, that's an adult joke. The kid doesn't fucking know that that's a joke.
Right. I mean, they're getting the point across of, we came here to save 2 people when you have all of these guys out here. I think that's where I would have clicked as a kid. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Not the part where everything's automated and there's literally only 2 people working in this entire factory.
Right. And I like the fact, too, that Draken is getting frustrated because it's so automated they can't fucking stop anything in the factory. It's the only 2 people they have tied up. They do the Batman and Robin sling to the top of the factory.
Yeah, they're like climbing
Ron's
the wall.
pants fall off.
That's yes.
And then his shirt flies off, and I was like, "Are we about to get naked, Ron?"
Next is his underwear, and I think that was the joke, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's the joke.
That's the joke.
Draken has taken over a video game factory for the Z-Boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the next hot Christmas item. It's not even out in the States yet. And then Ron comes up with the hypothesis that Draken is actually trying to steal Christmas.
That's right. He's like the Grinch.
They should have made that. They should have made it so that Ron was right at the end. Like,
it would have
yes,
been
I was
amazing.
trying to. If he was like, well, not if even if Draken was like, well, not directly. I was going to try to.
I was going to start
destroy
with
your
that.
economy, but yeah, that's
a great way to just do it.
True.
Is to steal Christmas, is to destroy the economy. Yeah, so it's a part of that.
They argue like an old married couple.
Oh yeah, all the time. Mm-hmm.
Is that like a running thing with them?
Oh yeah, because that's like their friendship.
I guess it is, because they were doing that at the camp too.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like in the new Ron, the second episode where Kim gives Ron a haircut, and it's hilarious because all she does is mat his hair down instead of slicking it back.
Well, she doesn't give him the haircut. She has a Frenchman give him a haircut.
That's right. Apologies. And the mom is like, that's going to be a problem because he's fucking hot now, and you're going to have a problem with it.
It's that take the glasses off, put your hair down of the woman. Like, Ron, you just have to put him in the right outfit, and he's fine. Like, he's actually, like, attractive.
All the girls at school then, like, think that he's hot.
Yeah.
I was waiting for her to get jealous in that episode, though. She doesn't... Does she get jealous of
A
him?
little
Though
bit.
she just gets annoyed by him being
pretentious,
full of himself.
Yeah. I think she
More
likes
so than,
Ron
like-
being Ron, but didn't realize it until she changed him.
That's more the lesson, I
Mhm.
think. Yeah, because it could have been. It would have been
'Cause
more
she-
of that
yeah.
will they, won't they, though, if she would have went the other direction, where she was like, oh, I don't like that he's not paying attention to me. He's not hanging out with me as much. He's hanging out with all these other girls and stuff.
Right.
Which they
There's
still
a
could
little
have gone
bit of
platonic
it.
with.
There's a little
but,
bit of it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a different episode that we're
we're not
covering.
discussing
there's
that
my
one.
analysis of that one. There's
We're
my
in
analysis of
Japan
that
right
one.
now.
They fight in camp, wanna weep as well.
Right. It's just their dynamic.
She uses the makeup mirror. This one doesn't have a satellite dish hooked up to it like the Totally Spies one does, though.
Yeah.
And she freaks out for a second because she thought she saw a zit. And
Just
then,
quiet for a second. Like, yep.
There's video monitors across the factory because it's Japanese, so it's like,
Oh, yeah.
you must work harder. Like, that's what I always, like, picture,
I
like,
would
the
assume.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, I think it's one of
Like,
those things.
You know, like that dystopian, we love all of you.
Yeah,
kind
like,
of
you're doing such
things.
a great job. Keep up the
But
hard
all-
work. Like, that's what I imagine is, like, being
Yeah,
said
exactly.
over. But all it's doing is going, konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. over and over again.
It's so good.
It's so silly. It's such a cute face, too. So it's just going, konnichiwa, over and over again.
It's like this smiley face emoji that just keeps saying konnichiwa.
Yes.
Ron
Which
acts
makes
as
me
the
think that they
distraction.
broke something. Like, they must have broken
Yes.
it, and so it's driving
'cause
Draken mad.
Draken asks the factory workers, like, can you turn that off? And they're like, no.
No.
Which I want to believe that they just said no because they were like, fuck you, man.
I
Like,
think
we're not
so,
turning
too.
it off. So describe Draken and
Oh, yeah,
She-Hulk
let's
for the
talk
folks at
about
home.
them. Okay, so Draken is blue scientist man. He's
a mad scientist.
He's a mad scientist. He has a scar on his face. He's like full garb from like neck down of like this full suit with like the gloves and the boots and everything.
He looks like Dr. Colossus from the Radioactive Man comics.
That's fair. That's fair. And then Shigo, his sidekick, is like his muscle. And she has superpowers. She's green with long black
She's super
hair.
strong?
That's part of it, I think, yeah.
Okay. She's a super soldier of some kind?
Well, she was actually part of that super team like I was talking about.
Oh, I know. She's part of Team Go or whatever. Her brothers are superheroes or
Yeah,
something
Shigo,
like that.
Higo, and
Fago?
I don't remember. Oh, when not using her powers, it's like hand to hand. So I think you're right. I think it might just mainly be like
Super soldier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when she's using her powers and she glows, that's what happens. But she's wearing like the skin tight green suit and stuff like that. So that's what she looks like she could be a superhero, but like also a supervillain.
Ron acts as a distraction. I think that's probably his usual repartee is to act as a distraction for Kim to do her
I think
thing.
he's pretty good at that. Yeah.
Draken is like, who is this guy? I can't remember.
I can never
Just like
remember
Ron,
his
like, figured
name.
like it.
Yeah.
She goes like, it's Kim Possible's sidekick.
Right.
So he sends his henchmen after him. Then Kim shows up, and she goes like, Draken, for the love of God, stop. Because he's like about to be like, I'm going to explain my master plan.
Right, you're going
and
to
she goes like,
thwart my
shut
plan.
the fuck
Yes.
up and just do, like, we would get away with everything if you would just act like a normal mad scientist
Right.
evil villain here.
And this is definitely their dynamic, where she's constantly yelling at him to knock it off, let her just handle it. She can do it.
I
it's
like
fine.
I want her to like do the Scott Evil thing like from Austin Powers and be like, if you have a time machine, why don't you just go back in time and kill Austin Powers while he's sitting on the toilet or something. It's that, like, she has that same like dynamic of like, why are we doing this? We could easily take over the world by now if you weren't so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So he doesn't actually tell Kim the evil plan, and they actually get away and leave the factory.
Yep.
We go to Kim's family's house, which is very nice. They have a very modern-esque looking house, which you
I would
expect
imagine with two scientists
on a salary of a rocket scientist and a brain surgeon.
It looks like a very contemporary home, like a Freud.
It looks like the house from North by Northwest.
Okay,
is
yes, it
actually what
is. It
looks
does
like.
look like the house from North by Northwest. It looks very
It looks
Tony
Frank Lloyd
Stark-esque.
Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright is who I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
Tony Stark-esque. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Mix it all together. It's great.
Except the kitchen is small, and they have the ugliest walls I could imagine putting on a house. They're like all this like seafoam green to bring that color back. It's not even Arthur watercolors for the backgrounds here. It's like you could be in like a Brechtian set with these walls in the background.
You kind of get it. You know where they are. You understand.
Yeah, they're in the kitchen. It's fine.
It's colored in a little bit. You get it.
Her dad is reading the paper and finds out about Kim's mission. He's like, oh, saved by world-famous super spy Kim Possible.
Yep.
And she's like, yeah, Daddy, but I let
him get
Draken...
away.
I don't think she calls him Daddy. But I let Daddy get away. And then she's
You
like,
let Daddy
and then
get
there's
away?
this whole...
Hold on, because you just said you let Daddy get away. Daddy Draken.
I guarantee you that there are quarters of the internet that call him Daddy Draken.
Oh, I bet you anything.
She admits, though, she's like, and then there's the whole Josh thing, and her dad's like, oh, who's this Josh fella?
Guy, yeah.
And she's like, well, I want to ask him out. And the dad, knowing the dynamic between Ron and Kim,
Yes.
is like, but you always go
But what
out
about
to those
Ron?
dances with Ron. She's
Ron's
like, yeah,
a
but
friend,
Ron's
but
a friend.
Josh is a hottie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've been there. I've been there.
Oh my god.
And the dad is like, you know what? Let's not talk about hotties at the fucking
Yeah,
breakfast
he's like, you know
table."
what? I don't think I want to talk about this to my daughter. This isn't what I want to talk about. The mom comes in and goes, ooh, are we talking about hotties? And it's just like, yes.
Yeah, I think the mom does it just to antagonize the dad.
Probably
slightly.
a little bit, yeah.
And them.
Her stupid twin brothers.
These fucking Tibble twin brothers.
It's so true. They're so annoying.
These brothers. I want to see a tag team match to the death between the Tibble twins and the Little Possibles.
These guys would win.
I don't care who
They're
would win.
scientists. They're like geniuses
you
too. They're
say
just
that,
asshats.
Rachel. You say that, but the Tibble twins are fucking insane.
They are. They're monsters.
So they would
end up
They're
being like
little
the
monsters.
supervillains to these twins here. Yes, you are right.
100%. I got the vibe right away that these little fuckers are going to be annoying as shit throughout the series.
They're fine. They're not as annoying as you expect them to be. Jim and Tim.
Jim and Tim. Yes, Jim and Tim, because Kim.
I was like trying to remember the rhyme, and I forgot. Yeah, Kim would also be rhymed with it. Yeah. Anyways, Golden Boy here. He's golden, Mom.
Golden.
Stay golden, Pony Boy.
Yeah, okay, that's the first thing that popped in my head because this is Shelf Life.
Stay golden, Josh Mankey.
The second thing about it, I told Josh Mankey, stay gold. Make sure that you stay gold, Josh.
Well, the mom does do
Was that a phrase?
I don't know. I didn't know that. I don't know that phrase. I don't think that ever was a thing, so I have no idea. So then
we're gonna have to bring that back.
So the mom's like, golden? That's good, right? Like...
Would have to be. I can't imagine calling somebody golden and not
No, that'd be weird. But I would bring Fetch back. Maybe he's so Fetch.
No, but I'm saying, like, let's bring Golden in. As,
I don't want to.
Kids at home,
I'd rather
like,
do Fetch.
you should start using that. He's Golden.
Yeah, just like Pony Boy.
Why not?
Yeah.
Just like Pony Boy. Then us old heads would be
understand.
Like,
he's
that's
golden.
gotta be from the outside.
It's a good thing.
So she says that he's smart and talented and quiet, like Landon Alger. I wrote that down just to get Rachel to pop.
Oh my
God. That was the only reason. You probably wouldn't have heard of him. She's smart. She's just not like that genius. She's not a typical average girl.
She's
according to the
she's
lyrics.
just an average girl.
Who is
a cheerleader.
Extremely good at
like head cheerleader. Okay, average girl. Yeah, bullshit. The second
is
you
she
say
or is
that,
she Bonnie?
She's not. I think neither of them are, and then at one point they fight for it.
Oh, they
so
fight
I think
for it?
Bonnie
Okay.
does get it because Kim's
The mom
always
says-
needing to run away. You know, she's got other stuff.
Yeah, she's got Spider-Man shit to do.
That's right.
Her mom says that it's like getting
Priorities.
into a cold pool. You just got to take a deep breath and take the plunge. I want to know this, Rachel. Does the sign outside of the school have a little gag on it every time?
It does
In
do
every
that
episode?
often. It does do
All
that
right,
often.
It's the Simpsons
yes.
couch gag. Okay,
Isn't it
'Cause
great?
This time it
I
says
love
something about
it.
like for a date with Ron, stoppable. Please call.
Need
or
a
whatever
date?
it says.
Call Ron.
Yeah. Kim says that she's going to ask today, and Ron is like, "Me too."
Somebody. Everybody.
Get
Get me somebody
the way
while I'm
that he
asking
says
that
it-
one.
Ron knows the score, man. It's a numbers game. It's the old, it's the man show bit where it's like, if you ask out 100 women, one of them will say
Bound
yes.
to say yes. Yeah.
She freaks out when she goes to do it, and all of the people, like the bell rings and all these people come by, so she doesn't do it. And then Mankey is gone. Ron is scoping for some tail in the library, failing miserably.
He was trying to have a meet cute. It was very
he was trying to
way of doing it.
He was trying to force a meet
yes.
cute. Yes. Josh walks by and Kim, again at the table with these pupilless friends of hers, spits some stuff out as he walks by.
And then slinks under the table because she's embarrassed.
This scene I always remember from the marketing material. It's like, me and you dance tonight. This arm needs somebody on it.
And then
they all
just leave. They're all gone. And then he goes, How about this arm?
How about this arm? I always remember that. Her Mandy, Bonnie.
Yes, Bonnie.
Bonnie's the hot bitch though. Like she's the hot, like sassy. I am too good for this. She has
such an attitude. Yeah, she's just. Yeah. I have such an attitude.
You know what?
And I'm always wearing my cheerleader uniform.
If I was in this world with Bonnie and I we get teamed up on like a project to have to do for school.
Yeah,
and we'd be like,
yeah, that's what would happen.
Like we'd be passive aggressive with each other, but we'd be like, we get it. Like we both get it. We know nothing's happening here. Let's just get this project done.
Yeah.
And we like have an understanding.
I think I could see that.
That's how I would be with Bonnie. But no, she's a mean girl.
I think that kind of happens a little bit with Ron and her. But then, like, Ron likes to mess with her and constantly is like will hit on her and stuff just to mess with her because he knows it's like,
sure.
like for her.
Yeah, because she does hit this girl. This girl's eyes are gonna get stuck in the back of her head one day. She
the
rolls
constant
them so much.
sighing and rolling of her eyes.
I know that you're crushing on Josh
because every girl is crushing on Josh.
She smells. I smell your pheromones. I like the pacing of this. Kim is like, I bet you don't want me to ask him out. And Bonnie's like, no, I do.
Go ahead.
He rejects girls hotter than you all the fucking time.
Yep.
I want to see you crash and burn, bitch.
Yes.
Think that you're the best in the world.
Oh my god, she comes on strong right away here.
But the part that I love is that Kim's like, I'm going to go do it right fucking now.
Yes.
And then I'm going to teabag your ass with his fucking pubes or whatever she's going to do.
But then she goes,
There's the pregnant pause though in this
perfect.
I do love because she's like, I'm going to do it right now. After practice. And then walks away. I love that she chickens out again. And still, like, stares down Bonnie. And Bonnie, like, knows that she chickened out.
But it's kind of like she's like, well, I could just be like, you know what? You can't force me into it. I'll do it when I want to do it.
Yeah, that's how she's trying to come up. Ron walks through the practice to ask all of the cheerleaders out.
Of course.
Great line. Contrary to popular belief, I am not dating Kim Possible. Good news for you, Josh. He like tries to play wingman.
He was such a wingman right there. That was perfect. That was so perfect because that was a hey Josh, and then he kind of like smiles at it, like all right, that was such a total wingman moment, and she's embarrassed by it, but it's so perfect.
Especially because Ron doesn't like Josh. Like he kind of made that clear.
But he knows Kim does.
Yeah, so he's doing it for Kim.
He would do anything for Kim.
Poor fucking Ron. Ron gets shit on way too much in these episodes. Clearly because I feel like the creators, since they're both guys, were self-inserting Ron,
Ron
a little bit. Like I bet they had a hotter, like out of their league friend in high school that they were like best friends with or something.
That's possible. I always had my best guy friends in high school. I had a best guy friend.
Oh, well, I didn't like my.
So I was kind of the Kim and Ron.
There you go. My friends had our girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Like we had a friend that was a girl that just hung out.
But you had a bigger group.
Her and I went to the same college.
Oh sure.
So like then we the two of us.
You guys
always,
had
like,
that same dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah. Ron tells all of the cheerleaders that I'm a bomb dancer. It's just Eric Matthews animated.
It is. It kind of
really
is. And they all laugh at him, but he's just like, that's fine.
I know for the live action they needed to get like another actress to portray Kim, but it really would have been kind of funny.
If they could have just been the two of them.
Just did Christy Carlson Romano and
so
Will Friedle.
Cute.
And just did them as adults, or even
I think
funnier,
they had them cosplay
they just pretended to be high schoolers.
Yes. Yes. Because I think she still makes like TikToks about being Kim Possible.
I'm sure she does. I don't know what she does nowadays.
no idea.
I think
she's a
does she, like,
podcast.
produce shit. I think they both do like produce shit and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could see it.
Ron informs Kim about a beep because he sits down and like watches them practice.
Yes.
And watch the cheerleader.
He's
practice,
not being
Ron.
creepy.
He's not, but Rufus is. And he gives the beep to Kim Possible.
I don't know why that didn't click right away, and then I'm just like, wait.
I was like, she didn't. I was like, should I wait a beat or should I just keep going and she'll get it in the edit?
Oh God.
He's like, Kim, beep, and Kim gets distracted, and they're in a pyramid formation, and she's at the top, and she goes whoa, and falls off of the pyramid, and it ruins Josh's banner. Wade is like, you want to go somewhere? And she's like, anywhere, because she's embarrassed that she broke Josh's banner. They get to an alpine lair, because we're trying to theme this episode, folks, with all three of our selections. It's by accident, but if you were to say that we did it on purpose, people would probably believe we were trying to find thematic similarities. I don't get it. I don't get why snowboarding is such a thing in these...
I don't know.
It's just something that you had to do, I guess, as a spy.
Yeah, they do that a lot as spies, and like everything. There's always some snow scene.
I guarantee you, James, I have snowboarded down several mountains.
Because I even think Jason Bourne does it. But it's like, I'm trying to
trust
think.
me, I would... If I had to pick between one of you ripe young ladies, between Kim Possible and one of these totally awesome spies to go with
Clover
me.
would be all over him.
Oh, that's true.
He wouldn't have to choose. He already got one.
He wouldn't have to. He wouldn't have to do a fucking thing.
He'd be like, if anybody else would like to join us, but.
They say three's a crowd, but not for me. It's the perfect number. Ron's done some research about Minky. He has rejected Courtney, Julia Roberts, no relation.
I love
Bonnie.
that.
I like that he doesn't have a picture of Bonnie.
Yeah.
He just drew a picture of like a mean like ogre
Because he hates
Bonnie.
her.
Mankey has rejected invitations to the Spirit Week dance from the foul. Courtney Luke, Maria Rodriguez, Natasha Putin, Julia Roberts, no relation, and of course, Bonnie Rockwaller. No current photo was available.
Josh spiked Bonnie?
And Bonnie spiked me, as did Courtney, Maria, Natasha, and Julia.
That could have been another ship, though. People would ship Ron and Bonnie together because of how much they hated each other throughout the series.
Yeah, they hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The enemies to lovers bit.
That's what people ship Shigo and Kim to be, I assume, as well.
Yeah, I think that's a lesbian ship, absolutely.
This is one of those where the show itself isn't horny, but the fucking people watching
Every person watching it.
really horny.
Every teenager going through everything is just like, yep.
Yeah. Like totally awesome spies.
Those two here, yeah.
They get to this place with help from some, mountain man who they saved his village. And Ron is like, hey, bet you got some teenage daughters that could go to the... And he goes, 9!
He goes,
He's like, you have 9 daughters?
Of them. I just need one.
9 is German for no.
That's such an overdone joke on everything.
Including our show. They snowboard down the mountain, as you have to.
We do it
Ron
because
does so
you
comically.
do it because of heavy weights. That's the only reason
yes.
you do that joke.
100%. It's one of my favorite lines of all time.
Yes.
Ron can't get down the mountain because the snowboard is stuck in the snow.
Which, honestly,
Wade
fair. It's not the easiest thing to snowboard, so...
Wade does some magic so they can see the sensor beams, because he's got these... Draken has these, like, Mission Impossible sensor beams to detect if anyone's coming. But Ron, being a doofus, has lost control, and they have to niftily get around all the beams.
Which they're doing so well.
They
Damn
get
it,
to the
Rufus.
end... Stop it. But Rufus's cute little naked mole
tush.
ass. Yes, you're right. He has a tush.
He has
you're
a
right.
little tush.
He has a tush. His tush slides right into the red beam and sets it off. And they get captured. You're right. We need to use tush more appropriately.
Tush.
Or a bottom. But I think in this
bottom.
case it's a tush.
Yeah. Well, now they're surrounded by all of the henchmen who are going to try to beat the crap out of them. Immediately, Kim sees Shigo and goes, well, I gotta fight Shigo. So you can handle them. I got Shigo. See you in a little bit.
She tosses Ron some lip gloss.
Yes.
And they all laugh at him because they're like, lip gloss? What's that gonna do?
And we get a
And
gadget.
she's like, Ron, Yes, it's a gadget. Ron, open it and hold your breath. And it takes all the thugs down. It's Wade's dad's dirty socks. His top secret stink formula.
That's
very
right.
kiddie.
Yeah, but it works.
For this type of show, yeah.
Yeah.
Kim is hanging by the ledge, tosses Shigo back. Ron flips Kim the lip gloss.
Right.
And Kim opens it and Shigo passes out.
Right.
I can't remember. Shigo has a line about that, and I can't remember what it is, but it's some snarky ass line.
That stinks. Yeah, that's real snarky.
Whatever. I knew she had some line.
It's very Shigo. Anything coming out of her mouth just sounds snarky because of the way she says it. I love it.
Yeah, the way she talks, everything comes off as passive aggressive.
Yes.
Like, fucking.
I would deal with this shit.
Dr.
Booyah!
Draken is done
Booyah
by...
is his catchphrase. I'm so sorry.
Ron's?
Yes.
It
just popped into my head. It's booyah.
Draken is voiced by John DiMaggio, the famed voice actor that you've had everywhere. We didn't mention that Rufus is Nancy Cartwright, so Bart Simpson's connection there. I guess those two can be... Well, John DiMaggio, probably not yet. Maybe not yet. But Nancy Cartwright becomes a two-timers club because of Rufus. Shigo's voiced by Nicole Sullivan, who you would know if you saw her, Rachel, you'd recognize her. She was, like, in Mad TV and stuff.
Yes, I know the comedian.
And like, a bunch of other... Yeah, you know her
yes.
to see her.
I think she was in some other, like, show as a mom that I know her from. I don't know what.
She's in Blackish.
She looks
and
so
some, like,
familiar
other
for that, though.
Draken shows up in this mechanical hand thing. Like, it's like a Ferris wheel arm that he can, like, move around. It's kind of cool looking.
Mm-hmm. It's very Dr. Robotnik, like it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very Dr. Robotnik. Dr. Draken and Dr. Robotnik could definitely team up together.
Yeah, but they would fight. I feel
like...
They would. Yeah.
They
would. No, I mean, like, they would fight because they wouldn't agree, like, on anything.
Yes, no,
yeah.
I agree. They would fight, yeah. He admits that this is a take over the world thing. It's not a steal Christmas thing.
Right.
He makes this robot warrior, and he makes this giant Gungan.
Yeah, a Gundam.
Mech suit.
Yes, absolutely.
Gundam mech suit thing.
Gungans are not the same thing, Kevin. We've had this discussion before. Gungans and Gundams are not the same. You'd have to do that voice and say Konnichiwa at the same time. I don't know if we can.
Konnichiwa.
Thank you. There we go.
The great joke, though, here is when the robot forms itself, it has the big monitor on its belly, and it goes,
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
It's so cute. And Ron is like, that would be so cool if it wasn't going to kill us.
Yes,
it's true.
Yes. He says, don't freak out, Kim, and Kim goes, I'm not. And he goes, that makes one of us. Next line. Wade analyzes it, and he's like, there's an override module if they can get to it. Draken aims to shoot at them, but Kim flips around, and Draken laments that why did she have to be a cheerleader? She was on the debate club. I would have taken over the world by now.
He knows a lot about Kim. He knows, like, all of her backstory stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, at least go murder Tim and Jim to like, make a statement to the possible family to, like, stop fucking with my plans.
And then Jim and Tim would figure out, like, some engineering thing to get out of it. That's how they are.
Well, and the fact that he has history with Kim's dad, too, would lead you to believe that he fears the possibles more than all. So I guess that's why he doesn't go after them a ton.
Well, like, her dad is, like, that nice guy, though, that is always just nice to everyone, even if they're being, like, evil. You know what I mean?
You can see the Mr. Fantastic influence a little bit. Like,
yeah,
it's
he doesn't beat his wife,
dad...
but yes, absolutely.
No, well, yeah, he did slap Sue in one of the episodes, or one of the issues. You're thinking of Hank Pym.
I know, I'm always thinking of
Hank
Pym, I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. Well, he doesn't beat his wife, but yeah, it's sort of...
Yeah, he does
have
very
a
much
dad...
so look like a Mr. Fantastic dad.
He's very dad-coded, though. Very
absolutely.
Dad-coded. Kim ends up on the back of the robot. Draken accidentally exposes the override because he tries to slash at Kim, and it cuts this thing open. And then she hooks Wade via USB, which for 2002 is probably some high-tech shit. And he has to guess the password. In the meantime, Ron goes for a flying kick onto the robot, but is caught by one of the a little clamp.
Right, one of those little claws. Just grabs him.
clamps that I clamp everything with. Yeah, it's like a claw, like the claw game claw. More
right.
So.
Which also, that's on par with Japan. They love their claw games.
Oh yeah, is that a big thing over there?
Yeah.
Japanese listeners of Shelf Life, that a big thing? You guys love the claw game?
I would totally go and do those. They seem fun.
Are
they
they
have,
better
like,
than the
different
American
ones.
claw games?
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Rachel did the.
I've watched some like
stop and
YouTubers
look
do
back
it,
and
you
forth.
know, and it's just kind of like fun.
Rufus falls out of his pocket and falls to his death, but Kim catches him before Rufus is squished.
You must. It's Rufus.
And puts him in her pocket. Draken says, "You should have stuck to babysitting!" And as he says this, Wade is guessing all of these different passwords, and he realizes that it is...
Konnichiwa.
And it works. Except for in real life, it would have been like Konnichiwa with like a
the
lowercase k, a
Maybe
zero.
it was. Maybe that's what he was
one.
doing. He was putting like a bunch of like letters and numbers together because he's like, it's the phrase Konnichiwa. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
He takes over the robot.
He's now
grabs
the big screen.
Draken. Yeah, and then he hangs Draken upside down with Ron. I wanted them to slap fight each other. I wanted them to
I
do
could
the
have
little,
seen
like...
that. That could happen. I think that's something like that happens with Monkey Fist, but yeah. Because Ron and Monkey Fist are like, that's his arch nemesis.
Is Ron's?
I think that,
Monkey
I
Fist?
feel like Monkey Fist is more of Ron's guy. Yeah.
Okay, that was another one that came up on the list as possibilities to do for us. Maybe next time. Shigo is up and fights with Kim in the control part of the robot, which is like the
Wait, they do the
torso.
fight, Kevin. They do the slap fight.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe that's why I thought that, because I was like, did they slap fight? Okay.
Completely forgot. It's
So,
right there.
As Draken and Ron are slap fighting, Kim and Shigo are fighting in the Megazord
Yes.
Control area.
Mm-hmm. And they broke like the control, so now Wade can't control it anymore. And it's just like swinging around and everything too.
Spinning like a top and stuff, yeah. Ron slides down the robot. Draken hangs on. Kim does some twirling around the robot to trip it like it's an ATST from Star Wars.
Yes, I was gonna say the same thing. It's the AT-ATs, right? That's what it is?
Or AT-AT, yeah, whatever.
I always, well, when you said that, I was like, yeah, the AT-AT. I think that's what I've heard people call it. I don't know. All right? It's the big thing.
Yeah, same idea.
The big
robot.
robot.
The elephant walkers from Empire Strikes Back. It brings the robot down, and then she uses, out of nowhere, rocket-propelled boots.
Yes,
that
she just
she's
has them on her
wearing
shoes. Mm-hmm.
to get Ron out to
It's like
safety.
having the wheelies. You know, she just got those wheelie shoes.
It's basically just wheelies.
It's just the wheelie
that would
shoes.
set on fire. She
Yeah.
gets set on fire so many times with these. That's why she
Yeah.
never used them before in
that
this
makes
episode.
sense.
She's, like half the time, I end up set on fire.
I gotta
We
risk
didn't-
it though.
we didn't
now.
mention-
Risk it for Ron.
Kim's typical spy outfit, which is again midriff.
Oh yeah,
shirt,
midriff
black.
but black cargo pants.
Yeah, cargo pants.
Yes, and it's the
That's
same
why
with
I
Ron,
say-
but not midriff.
But no midriff. Which it would be funny if
If he
when-
also.
if he also had a midriff, or if like you cosplayed and you were like, no, I'm Kim, I'm not
Kim,
Ron. But
yeah.
see, do you see my belly button?
She's
I'm Kim.
Ron. I'm Kim. Red hair. Belly button.
That's why it's the lazy girl's cosplay outfit. I'm not besmirching it. I love a good midriff shirt on a girl that can pull it off. It's just it's easy because it's just black shirt.
Oh yeah.
Cut.
But it can be fun.
Cargo pants.
Yeah.
Draken and Shigo hang from a rafter because when the robot went down, Shigo had to grab onto something, and they get arrested.
He does his one line. You know, you think you're all that, but you're not. That's such a very that's everybody knows.
Is that a
I
Draken
feel like that's
thing?
such a Draken thing. Yeah.
You think you're all that? Well, this is the first episode, so they have to establish all of
Yeah, I
this
guess
stuff.
that's true.
This is the pilot, technically speaking.
Yeah, I never really think about that. It doesn't feel like a pilot. It just feels like you dropped into
It just
the
feels
show.
like another episode of yeah.
Might have to talk about
I
that.
wonder if there's a reason for that. The production number was 113. So I wonder if that means that it's like The Simpsons, where this was supposed to be like one of the middle ones.
Oh, so it's like out of order.
And it got pushed to the front.
Interesting.
I don't know. Apparently, a lot of these episodes you could watch out of order in the first season.
I could
because
imagine
it's designed
that.
to
Yeah. Be kind of
to work
standalone
that way.
Mm-hmm.
Tick, Tick, Tick was the first in production order. And then Bueno Nacho
Oh, Bueno Nacho
was number 2. And then Monkey First Strike was 3rd.
Monkey Fist.
So Tick, Tick, Tick apparently would have been the original. So maybe that's why it doesn't feel like a pilot to you. What happens in Tick, Tick, Tick?
I'm looking. It is a Dr. Drac and Shigo.
Yeah, it's
the
still
plot
Dr. Draken
is
and
use
Shigo.
robotic ticks with built-in explosive devices to hold the world hostage. I do remember this.
That's the one with the zit. That's
And it's a
actually
tick,
bomb.
and then he uses like
Okay.
hot sauce to get rid of it and stuff. Spoiler alert.
Okay. So that was apparently so maybe that's why it doesn't feel like a pilot to you, Rachel. This was actually the 13th episode they had in production. It just aired first.
Okay, that would make sense then. Yeah, because I'm like, this just doesn't feel like a pilot.
Well, technically speaking, the way that we've talked about, like if you were to get this on Blu-ray or DVD or 4K, hopefully one day Disney, come on, they should have these in production order,
Right.
not in order of broadcast, in my opinion, because that's the story order. That we should be watching this in the production order.
I feel like that would make more sense. Right.
We're going to have to remember that for next time. So back at school, Ron tries to convince Kim that she can handle Mankey if she can take Draken, trying to encourage his friend. Like,
yes.
He realizes that if you like this guy, you
Just
should
go
ask him out.
And then she has Wade on Mankey alert, so he's got him bugged so that he can like tell him where she's at.
I understand Kim though, because she's like, I need to amp myself up.
She needs to be
able
ready
to
for
do
it.
this.
Sure.
So yeah, it can't come out of nowhere, and if it does come out of nowhere, I'm going to chicken out again. So I need to like it's like pulling off a Band-Aid. You need to like give yourself a countdown.
Yeah.
But at the time where it's where he's going to come by, she freaks out and goes and hides in a closet with Ron.
Yep.
Ron encourages her again, and she's actually able to exit this time. And she apologizes for the banner, and he's like, that's fine.
No biggie.
I made another one.
Right.
It's better. He does like a little good flirt line with her. He's like, don't tear this one down.
Yes.
And she's like, I won't. And then it's cute. She's like...
She's totally doing the thing.
I'm
Her
gonna-
hands are behind her back, and she's just like really shy about it. And she's like, I guess I'll like see you at the dance. And he's like,
Yeah,
oh,
like,
at the
maybe I'll
dance?
see
He's like
you
waiting
there?
for her to ask him.
Which, like, dude, you could just ask her.
Right.
You don't have to make this girl fucking stress about this.
Maybe that's his thing,
But I think
though.
he gets off on that, though. Yeah, he does.
He's so
Yeah.
weird.
He loves it. He loves telling these girls no. He goes home and
Oh my god, he's so
and, like,
into
that's
it. He's
what
just
he's
like, yeah, everybody
yeah.
likes me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so she's like, maybe you'll be there with me. And he goes, he's like, oh, are you asking me? Because he's like, now at this point, he's like realizing,
Yeah, but he says yes.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
And he
cool.
says,
Come around 7. That's
yeah.
when he'll pick her up. Mm-hmm.
And Ron's like, I could use a ride too.
Yep.
Maybe around. I like that Ron was still gonna go. He's like, fuck it, I don't care.
Well, why
So
would
he's
it's
like,
Ron? He's gonna go dance.
Damn right,
him
he's a
and
bomb-ass
Rufus.
dancer.
Yeah.
Could you get there around 7? 7:15? Maybe 7:30. My mom needs to have
My pants. Yes. And then we cut to the dance though, and everybody's just in their school clothes. Like nobody
Are they?
dressed up. Nobody is dressed up.
did.
Everybody's just in like t-shirts, shorts, midriff top, cheerleader outfit. Nobody is dressed up.
They
They're all
look
just...
as bad as fucking Bianca did at prom. That's the level of dress.
Oh my god, that awful outfit. She was horrible. I'm so sorry, but that's awful. Ugh.
Ron is stuck in the closet though, and no one is letting him out, which is a shame. And that's like, oh, that's our Ron. But I'm thinking like, somebody let Ron out. Why is everybody being a dick to Ron? He's a good guy.
He's a
Let him
bun
out.
diggity dancer.
That is the end of the first episode aired of Kim Possible. Crush. Rachel. Does Crush have shelf life?
I think it does. I like this episode. I think it's funny. I always like to see the dynamic between Ron and Kim and Shigo and Draken and all of them together. They usually have such a good dynamic in like a fight together, which is always great. We have the Kim having her issue at school bit. You have a crush on somebody and now you want to ask them out because there's a dance, and it's like, okay, that actually is very relatable. So it's kind of like that's actually a fun dynamic too to see, and how that actually pans out as well. Considering she can do anything, Kim Possible, and now she's struggling to do something. So I think it's actually kind of a fun episode, the way everything kind of pans out too. It's very clever.
I don't know if I guarantee you Disney has not released this on Blu-ray or anything. Maybe there's some DVDs out there, but all of these companies need to stop getting streaming in their asses and actually make... I still will have the streaming service.
Yeah.
You're just going to get more money out of me if you make the Blu-ray, because
Right.
I'll go buy that then too. Like,
Right.
Stop getting in your own way. This particular episode, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I think it was a fine episode. I thought it was all right. I'm starting to wonder, because the second and third were good too. Right on par with this.
Yes.
Same rating I would probably give all three of these. I did not realize or remember this being clever, being as cute as it is, as having the characters of Ron and Kim working as well as they do. I kind of wonder if this is a show where there's probably episodes out there that I would say definitely have shelf life. If it's the sum of the parts are greater than the individual. If you made me watch this, Rachel, where I'd be like, yeah, the show's got shelf life. That's where I feel with Kim Possible. I think I can say that better than with Spy X Family. I might get there too with Spy X Family, but this one I feel like kind of wonder if with this one it's going to be one of those as a whole it has shelf life.
Sure.
I can't say that because I haven't watched.
Yeah, can't say it about anything yet today.
I can't. That's why I said I'm going to keep
Which is
repeating
okay.
myself.
No, that's fair. That's understandable.
But of the three, I think, Totally Spies, I think, is a cute little show, but, like, it is kind of a nothing at the end of the day, does not probably have shelf life. Spy X Family, I think if I watched it and I did like it, you'd say, like, yeah, it's a continuation of a story. It's a continuing story. It's a serial. Would have shelf life if you got there, and I thought that the
if it
episode
actually
was
continues
good.
being strong and had good characters and everything.
Exactly, because it is strong. Yeah. This one, I feel like you probably have individual episodes that you're like, yep, those are the best.
Those are the best
things
ones.
that should be.
There could be throwaway ones, which is possible always with every show.
Well, there's like 80 episodes of this damn thing. But like there could be episodes where it's like, yeah, that needs to be preserved either digitally or physically. But I could see a world where at the end of the day, I'm like, it's clever, it's good writing, it's good characters, the whole thing has shelf life. I'm not going to say that today. But what I am going to tell you
possibilities.
Is it's got the possibility. So I think that on shelf life, we are definitely going to have to check out
more Kim,
other Kim Possible episodes, and see if there are ones that could do that. And kids at home, let us know if there are specific
Give
ones
us some
that
good
we
ones.
should be checking out.
Because if you're going to probably mention it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that. And that's probably what's going to keep happening to me.
Yeah.
Like we just did with the other ones. We're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like, oh, that happened and that happened.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have to keep an eye on doing more Kim Possible. That's at different points in our lives here. And who knows, maybe, like you said, Rachel, now you're in the mood. You're going to end up going to watch
probably
a bunch of this shit. I'll probably end up watching a couple of Kim Possibles,
I'll mark
too.
some.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those things with Kim Possible. It's like you can't just watch one. You're going to be like, well, I'll watch another one. And that happens for
I
me,
agree.
Spy X Family as well. It's kind of like, I want to watch another one.
But that was Crush from Kim Possible. Cross that off the list. It's on Rachel's shelf. It is not on my shelf, but obviously all of my caveats I've given. Yeah. Oh, and look at the time, boys and girls. The morning is over. Oh, which means that Rachel and I have to get back to our spy missions. We only do spy missions in the afternoon, and in the mornings we eat cereal and watch cartoons.
That's
from
right.
30 years ago.
That's right. If you want to be a spy, kids, that's how that's going to go. Doesn't that feel
That's
kind of
right.
cushy? I like it.
But it's time for all of this childish stuff we put away and for Rachel and I to go on our espionage mission. Espionage, that's our word of the day!
Yay!
What a special spy day this has been. So why don't you kids go outside, have some fun with the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, go touch grass.
Touch some fucking grass. And you can even pretend to be spies with your friends and play. But don't hurt each other.
Yeah, don't do that. We aren't...
Take all the lessons that you learned today to heart.
We're not responsible for anything the children do.
We are not responsible for anything that happens to Shelf Life is not responsible for any actual spy play. Until next time, kids, I've been name redacted.
And I'm Agent R.
And this has been Saturday Morning Shelf Life. We'll see you another weekend. Bye. Oh shit.
Shelf Life.
It's falling.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa.
Cartoons make my eyes itch.
Konnichiwa.
Can't you switch that thing on?
Konnichiwa.